Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the League Zero Novice Grand Finals here. I'm Corbeck, joined by Dividing with the wonderful Pendion production, and we are bringing you an amazing matchup between Wisdom Academy and Geometric, the two top squads in Novice Division here, squaring off. And Dividing, before we got started here, you were saying that this is one that could really go all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a matchup that I'm sure many people have been very much looking forward to. As Wisdom and Geometric met in last season's Grand Finals for Novice, of course, a lot of different turnover when it comes to the players. But in that matchup, Geometric ended up coming out on top. However, in this season, Geometric and Wisdom Academy have already come to blows twice. First off in week 5, where Wisdom beat Geometric 3-1, and then in week 8, where Geometric beat Wisdom 3-2. So this could very easily go in any direction, go to any sort of maps. This is probably the series that I'm the most excited for, just because of how crazy it could be. We are currently making sure that everyone's getting set up, and Wisdom, as the number 1 seed in these playoffs, has chosen Ilios for their first map pick.
All right, well, Ilios will get us started here. And as you were saying, history between the two squads, a grudge match if ever there was one, which, of course, adds a whole nother element to this matchup above and beyond, of course, the energy of grand finals. So that's pretty exciting to see. Obviously, we're about a week into some recent patch changes. Reinhardt surging back in the lower ranks, what have you. At the higher ranks, of course, you're seeing this hellish Sigma wrecking ball kind of style being so popular. Do you think we see like a meta style composition down here? Are the coaches going to push that forward, or are we going to see some more kind of basic Rhine based compositions?
That's actually a very good question. I'm a very big believer that, especially down here in the Novice Division, where everyone's like in the gold or maybe plat range, as people have tended to get better over the course of the season, I'm of the believer that run whatever you're comfortable on and whatever you feel like you're good with. And I feel like of any division, Novice really does exemplify that kind of mindset. We do see a lot of meta. We saw a lot of shadow dive in the earlier parts of the season. Sorry, I'm making sure that teams are situated. But I will say that when it comes to teams grabbing their comfort picks and going a little bit off script, we see that a lot more than in other divisions here.
Yeah, it's usually actually pretty decent advice for Overwatch players in general in this range, and even on the ladder, right? To stick to the things that you're comfortable with in order to rank up, even if they're not necessarily meta centric, right? And it'll be interesting to see too whether or not these teams stick to that idea. They come out with the things that they like the most. I mean, we see all sorts of interesting strategies on Ilios. Of a lot of the Koth maps, I feel like this is the one that had some of the weirdest strategic viability, right? Lots of potential for Pharah gameplay, lots of potential for Echo gameplay. Ball, of course, can get huge value here. You can even run Symmetra on some of these points if you so choose. Roadhog still can be a star. Even Orisa, as much as people don't like her, has her place on these maps. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly they come out with. It looks like we're waiting for the final ready up here as we get a look at these starting lineups.
Yeah.
Rim Jazzberry Churd. Yeah, Rim Jazzberry Churd as the awesome pasty Woolly Flankiata for Geometric. These are all names that we recognize and we love, right? Dividing, like these are guys that are well known.
Yeah, absolutely. All of these players very well known in the game in this series. I will say Geometric with a Churd, SD Awesome, and Pasty. All people that have participated in the Novice Division of League Zero before and have come back. Meanwhile, we have on the other side, Wisdom Academy, a team of almost all rookies, except for Titanic, of course. I will say, yeah, great name. Great Pharah player, too. We have, as far as rookies to watch out for in Wisdom Academy, Zorthcon on the off tank has been an absolute star for this team, as well as Geekache on that Lucio. She does a great job of just being where she needs to be all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think obviously those of you who have been following the series leading up to this, I've seen a lot of great play from both these teams. I've cast a couple of good, solid geometric games. Rim Jazzberry really popping off in a lot of those matches. SD Awesome as well. Just remains one of the strongest sort of DPS players at this level. But like you said, on the other side, I mean, Titanic, not a bad player at all. Geekake, obviously, like you mentioned. It'll be interesting to see where they kind of come back into this. And obviously, there's a lot of things that go into the grand finals, right? These teams
Yeah.
have taken time in their preparation. They've got coaches on both sides who have tried to walk them through this. They got the tape, what have you. They just got to get past those nerves too. I mean, it may not be for all the marbles, but it is for all the marbles as far as pride is concerned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is one of the great things about League Zero is that even though, none of these players in the grand scheme of things is necessarily, I mean, they're in the novice division for a reason, right? These are all players that are in the gold, low plat range at most. However, what I think is awesome about League Zero is that we have given those players with that kind of rank in the ladder and the ability to play with and against people of their skill level, at least about. And because of that, now that we're here in the grand finals, it's all going to come down to the team synergies and coordination that they've built up over these last 3 or so months as a team. And I'm really excited to see how it comes out.
For sure, yeah, I got started playing my kind of like organized play Overwatch down at this level as well, and it's always a weird and wild time, and we'll get started here. Minimax coming out on the Reinhardt, Zorthcon there on the Diva on the other side, Rim Jazzberry leading with the Orisa and Churd, slipping into that Sigma slot. They'll take an early teleportation here to just get them on the point and set up and hold out. Shots coming in early on, already Minimax in, swinging away with the hammer, clearing space. Awesome, Church, both go down in rapid succession right there. Titanic actually coming out on the Sombra here. Interesting pick. I feel like Sombra is not in the strongest position right now as far as meta goes.
Yeah, very interesting Symmetra teleport strategy coming out from Geometric, where we saw Wooly and SD Awesome and I think Churd all teleporting onto the point from the side, and that allowed them to get feet on the point first. But I mean, Wisdom are playing, like I said, what they're comfortable with and what they've been running most of the season, and that is just Shadow Brawl sort of composition. And when they saw them split up like that, they just realized, hey, we can just rush the 3 people on the point and win from there, and now we see Geometric kind of force the poke from the high ground.
Well, it was a good hack early on there onto Awesome, trying to shut the Echo down a little bit, but unfortunately Titanic is driven off. The pressure started to come forward, though largely still kind of a shootout at the moment, kind of a tactical operation to get them up to the door, and there we go, Rim Jazzberry just plugging that shield forward. Oh, Zorthicon peeked out for a second there, took a ton of damage and actually lost the mech because SD Awesome has this amazing angle on the outside, tricking in tons of damage. The Coalescence coming out the window in response almost immediately, and it will look like a fight that's going in favor of Geometric as they'll just push forward onto the point and hold on to it. Titanic goes the way of the Titanic right there.
Now, I don't want to say who it was exactly because I wasn't 100% sure, but the only person I can think of is Wooly on the Brigitte, canceled Minimax's Shatter by whip-shotting him behind Orisa shield, and then the rest of the team knocked him down while he was up in the air. Beautiful play from him.
Well, they're closing distance right away. Titanic has that EMP in the pocket should they choose to use it. Now there's another Reinhardt on point. There's a Shatter as well. Oh, the follow-up is there. They'll sweep it clear, and there's one more Shatter just for good measure on the backside.
These are absolutely... They might be my favorite plays of all of Overwatch, is when the DPS players swap to Reinhardt and just absolutely destroy the other team. Like, hey, main tank players, this isn't that hard.
You know they think that too. You're not even wrong. Anyway, here comes the pressure again, speeding straight onto the point. EMP to initiate. Death Blossom following it up. Spongy Cheese only picks up one, but the rest of the team is there. Flank Yada alone on the Baptiste will get pummeled into the dirt by Minimax's hammer. And that just leaves one Echo fleeing for the hills, and they will flip it. Almost equal percentages there when the flip does come in.
And this is the kind of gameplay that Wisdom Academy is known for and feared for. That kind of methodical gameplay. They go in knowing what ults they want to use and how they want to use them. And you saw it right there with the EMP Blossom combo.
Well, they're still holding on to this sound barrier here as the damage bongo does come out. Oh, Bob up! Oh, just slides over the top.
A little overshot.
A little unfortunate. You can see the difference being made here by the damage bongo. The flux does come in. I think they only got the Moira on that. Up, down does go Red Panda. Red Panda's still alive here with the Coalescence as well if they choose to invest it, but no, they will not. Again, these team fights have just been kind of extermination affairs on both sides, but they have ticked up to 99% here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a little bit bad for Zorthcon that right there. That Diva Bomb just sort of went over the building that Geometric was sectioned in. If that had kind of slid back down, that could have been incredible. But Geometric ended up winning the fight with only using their tank ults and the rally. So they have quite the arsenal in order to hold on to what is looking like the final fight of the round.
Well, the window comes out really early on, just trying to stall them out. The Shatter coming in, no value to be had on the back of that, but Pasty, the first to fall in the midst of everything. Rim, Jazzberry, and SD also just trying to anchor the line here as it begins to break just a little bit. Boom there, takes Orthicon completely out of the fight. That'll be the cleanup on the rest of them too, and now they're in a desperate situation. I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch.
Yeah, who needs Lucio for poop kills? Wooly doing an incredible job on this Brigitte right now. Also, the team as a whole did a great job of sectioning off Minimax and getting rid of that Reinhardt at the very start of the round. His impact has been very much minimized, at least for this first round of Ilios here, as the kills continue to come in for Geometric.
Oh, poor Geek Egg just got eliminated right there. Rock to the face. Nothing they can do. And it'll take first stage here on Ilios, but close fought. Tooth and nail sort of fighting there.
Very, very close. And already we're starting to see the composition difference coming in from both teams. Now, we're going into Well, which is always a lot of fun. And immediately we see Wisdom changing a lot, and so are Geometric. But I thought looking at that that Shadow Brawl versus the Double Shield Poke kind of compositions and seeing how they tried to play into each other was very, very interesting on that last map. Now, both teams seem to have a very similar approach going into Well.
They sure do. Out comes the Sigma Ball, the hamster feet, whatever you want to call it. It's there, it's rolling. The real big difference here, of course, is Titanic coming out on the Echo, meanwhile Pasty on the other side on the McCree. So a slightly different choice of damage dealers here as they begin their way towards point. Early pushed up already, though, is Wisdom Academy. They're about to run face first into Churd here. Zorthcon kind of needs to get rolling and make some plays. Rim Jazzberry already popping the shields, just trying to stay alive on that ball. In comes the slam on the backside. Zorthicon, couple of stuns, nothing the ball can't handle, rolls back out. And a bit of a pedestrian start, all things considered, even as Zorthicon comes back in, tries for the slam again. Neither team really making much of an early impact here, dividing, kind of just trading out there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Zorth, he got two. I will say, great job from Titanic, who kind of went around on the flank on the Echo, and basically drew like 4 members of Geometric to try and chase after him. He didn't die, and because of that, Wisdom was able to take control of the points.
Geek getting quite aggressive there, manages to catch Churd on the rotation and bring him down, and that'll end the Sigma as well. And they're kind of struggling to get the synergy working.
Yeah, it seems like they were a little bit confused by the way that Wisdom was attacking the point. Pasty did not get as much value out of that McCree as I think they wanted, knowing that it would probably be going into a flying character from Titanic, which he loves. Oh my goodness.
No, Spongy Cheese starts it off in the least cheesy fashion possible, picks up 2 kills in the backline. Titanic quick to swoop down, capitalize that as well, and they'll beat all hands to quarters right back to the spawn, reset and re-go again.
Yeah, I mean, he just walked up into the backline and pressed Q. I mean, there's not really much else to say about that one. Beautiful work from Spongy Cheese.
Yeah, rather rude good morning or good afternoon.
And Rim Jazzberry gets kicked off, as I guess he was trying to get a little bit of something going in the back. Not really sure what to think. It seems like Geometric is just having a lot of trouble finding their footing, but they are coming up on several ultimates that they should use here, as Wisdom's within 1 fight territory.
Yeah, they sure are hitting that magical 85% number. Rin Jazzberry scouted out again. The two balls exchanging some unpleasantries there for about a split second. Zorthcon will roll back. Now the pressure beginning to come forward here from Geometric, trying to make something happen, but Pasty dying early on. The flex coming in, that'll prompt a rally there from Geekake, and that'll just give him a little bit of extra sustainability. But even as I say that, there goes Spongy Cheese, there goes Red Panda. The crack starting to show. Titanic taking out of the action. Great play, and actually at the bitter end here, Geometric will be able to turn this around in spite of Geekake's rally and the investment of the Flux.
Yeah, that was actually incredible from Geometric, how they were able to kind of persist through the ultimates coming in. Spongy Cheese's Pulse Bomb unfortunately doesn't get much out of it, and honestly, I would have liked for him to save that for this recontest fight. No need to try and get cute and go for a pick right now. You just need one fight right now if you're Wisdom Academy to take us to a round 3.
Well, Titanic does have the ability to clone here. Should they do so? Churn Minimax actually going to swap out right there early on, but now Titanic caught behind enemy lines and a lot of pressure here while Wooly pops this rally, just keeps the team up and going. They'll start to drive forward again. There's really nothing they can do. That's
Wooly
just
with another whip shot boop kill on the Geekake as she tries to get out. And I don't know how you've managed to do this on Ilios even when you're not playing Lucio, but that's at least two boop kills for Wooly. It might be 3, honestly.
Yeah, whip shot sends it flying, man. There's a lot of momentum going in there. Don't ask me how it works, but it does. Rip Jazzberry there trying to get in behind with the ball as pops into machine gun form there for half a second, and there's a Gravitic Flux, and there could be another one on the way here, but Flank Yada is actually the first one to die. Pasty has yet to build up the Flux that they need. Adaptive Circuits on the other side now as Titanic immediately eliminates Wooly. There's the Flux that's almost split focused. Oh, but Geekake will get out of it. Not for long, though. The follow-up is there from Pasty to get the kill. Now the Flux on the other side. That, too, drops out short. Neither of the Echoes getting too much value, but the point has flipped here. A desperate attempt to contest coming out from Wooly will not be enough. The minefield holds on. Flank Yada can't do anything but peek that corner and die almost immediately. And that should signal an end. Sure, trying to make a fight of it, but nah, it's done. It's a done deal here at this point in time. Had to be really impressive. Oh, just sweeping them.
Yeah, I think crucial on that last fight. Zorthcon piling up the cleanup kills, by the way. Crucial in that last fight was definitely the Echo ultimates. Pasty's, or Pasties, I'm not 100% sure, but his duplicate ran out of time right in the middle of his Gravitic Flex. It looked like he was going to have at least 2 or 3 members of Wisdom in that. If that had gone through, Geometric might have been able to turn this fight around and ended up going into already going up 1-0 in the series, but instead we find ourselves in a pivotal round 3 on Ilios Ruins, and Wisdom are going back to their Shadow Brawl comps.
Unleash the Rhyme, and back to the double shield on the other side as well. Pasty, that's a name that gets me too. I call it Pasty, but the first time I think I did call it Pasty. Pasty is like a thing. It's like a thing you eat. They're famous Cornwall. Yeah, there's a little bit of culture for you. Fight boiling in already inside. A brief exchange of rocks there. Unfortunately, it will be Pasty. The aforementioned dies first. I think we might have cursed him there just a little bit. The pressure coming out from Minimax right away, just bullying this Orisa on the front line. There really isn't enough for them to do. Churn, I think, did get a rock in there, but the accretion did not slow Minimax down at all. Like an unstoppable truck with an entire angry squad of Teamsters behind him. He'll just take the point.
And again, this is just how Lighthouse started, was that the tanks of Geometric decided to kind of go to the side of that little room on Ilios to try and get some poke damage into Wisdom as they went past. But Wisdom recognized this, and Geekake speed boosted, and they just kind of ran into Pasty, and there was nothing that he could do about it.
Yeah, as long as this brawl can close distance, and we see that right now. Oh, Pasty early death again. Once more, the DPS is taken out of the equation. Titanic getting in big on the action as well. The 2 DPS there absolutely cleaning up. His Spongy Cheese goes on a little bit of a tear with those shotguns.
Yeah, this methodical brawl from Wisdom, absolutely knowing when to go in and when to take control of the tempo. This is the kind of play that I love to see. However, now here comes Geometric. They're going to come up on some ultimates of their own, including the Gravitic Flux, the Pulse Bomb, and the Window. Three very big ultimates to start off.
Well, there's the Flux. It's got both tanks. Could have been a little bit more impactful. The Death Blossom from Spongy Cheese shut down almost immediately, and now Geometric is starting to stick up those kills. A couple of trades here and there, but I don't think anything too significant. Sure, though, even as I say that, actually, really, it's just 2v2 right now. A little bit of backyard basketball, and
oh my gosh, it's a 1v1 now.
Down to a 1v1 between the two flankers on the point.
Oh no, now Spongy Cheese is back and SD Awesome's hacked! That's it! No. Wisdom actually managed to hang on.
Not only that, but they'll reset there pretty hastily too, get SD Awesome sent back to the spawn.
That is disastrous for Geometric, because now we got the EMP bomb!
Oh, Zorthcon perfectly positioned that one. Roof? What roof? It'll go right in and go right over, and then the rest of the team just secures the point. And it looks like they'll secure map 1 win. Oh, well, Flankiata trying to stall it out. Transcendence tranquility, tranquilizing the point perhaps, but not to be. Wooly there, hacked almost immediately. The worst fate a Lucio can suffer. There's still a couple of contests rolling back in. Well, no, Churd's here with the ball. They're trying to make an actual effort out of this. The high noon comes in. No value being had out of that. Churd will go down. Can't sustain against Red Panda's Coalescence. A shatter at nothing. Did send a message, perhaps, to SD Awesome. And the message is, well, there's a map win for Wisdom Academy. That's the message.
Yeah, Wisdom Academy sends a statement, especially on Ruins. That last fight for Geometric went so south so fast. They quickly invested 3 ultimates into that fight and got plenty of picks. I would say enough that you would think they would be able to win. But Wisdom manages to trade a couple back just in those skirmishes and eventually end up winning the sort of 1v1, a 1v2 in order to take the point back. And I mean, if Geometric had ended up taking the point there, who knows how that would have gone. They had a couple of ultimates that they could have used to sustain there.
Yeah, I feel like it really was just a matter of them committing too much to that situation where we had the 2v2 and then we had the 1v1. They just kind of would not hold up, would not stop going. But map picks will be going over to Geometric now as they'll get their choice of where they want to go. Don't know if Route 66 is the one. I'm assuming we're going to change that.
Yeah, Route 66 is not going to be... they're currently putting down Eichenwald. I want to make sure that is true and that is what everyone has done, because Eichenwald is like the least. I have never seen people put down Eichenwald. I'll lock it in for now because no one on Geometric seems to be disputing that. But man, that is surprising. I mean, you see Hybrid coming up, and I mean, you almost assume that it's going to be King's Row. Eichenwald opens up a lot of opportunity, though, for lots more scrappy pick-based compositions, which seem to be the kind of play that Geometric wants to go with here.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, also, if we look at Geometric's propensity to run that double shield, gonna work a lot better here on Eichenwald, right, than it would on Ilios Ruins. There's a lot less, I guess, or a lot more, I should say, distance to close and a lot less places for a team to hide if you hit your rotates right on the double shield. So it could put a little bit of a wrench in the plans of Wisdom Academy. I mean, this brawl that they run, it is good and effective, but you have to be able to close distance with the tanks, right? Like if that Reinhardt doesn't get there, it's game over.
I want to say, yeah, especially on that point B of Eichenwald, I mean, their brawl comp is going to be torn apart. And I will say, they did show a decent ability to play that Sigma Ball comp on Lighthouse in a very, very scrappy kind of map.
Yeah.
But I think this is where that kind of comp is really going to be tested. Also should be noted, Tilted Waffle coming in for Geometric, known as, in my opinion, more of a sniper-ish specialist coming out here for Geometric. I've seen him play a lot of Ashe. I would be very interested to see if he goes for that.
Eichenwald is a very good Ash map, actually, all things considered. So that might explain the swap. Lots of high ground options, lots of long sight lines, all the kind of things you want, I guess, if you're a hit scan player. Truth be told,
Absolutely.
the number of times that Ash has killed me off the top of that castle on second point. So, there. Good dynamite opportunities too, actually, now that I think about it. No swaps seem to be coming in here for Wisdom Academy, so it looks like they will be sticking with what they were running. Can't really blame them for that.
I can't blame him.
No, they did well. It is worth pointing out too that Wisdom Academy seemed to cleave to that Sigma Hammond style a lot more competently than Geometric did. Like, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I feel like it probably has something to do with the fact that, that's kind of the meta that they are used to. That's the meta that kind of dominated most of the season, was this sort of brawl cleave comp with the Reaper Sombra. Even if that's not necessarily the meta, I think has the same kind of mentality that I had at the beginning, which was, this is what we're
Indeed.
comfortable with, this is what we're good at. And in the end, at this level of play, if we're really good at this, we can beat what is consistently considered the meta by just being better.
Yeah, I mean, they basically did exactly that. Like I was saying, the Sombra pick is surprising to me because arguably Sombra is in one of the least good places she's ever been, I think, since the development of her character right now. But I mean, they made it work. I think the only thing that they could have done a little bit more on the Sombra was the EMPs were a little slow to generate, considering how, Sombra might be bad, but that the electromagnetic pulse is never going to be bad. You know what I mean? The ability to lock every character's abilities for X amount of time is never going to be something to sniff at. So hopefully they'll be able to get that a little bit faster. And it looks like Wisdom Academy is ready. Hopefully Geometric gives us the ready up here as well. And we'll hop into our second map, Eichenwald.
Eichenwald.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see Eichenwald. I have not seen a team play Eichenwald since like week 3 or 4 of the season.
Wow.
It's always been Kings Row, and sometimes a team wants to be cute, they'll pick Hollywood. I've never seen Eichenwald in so long, so super happy to see it, and super happy to see what Geometric has planned. Because if Geometric went out of their way to prepare for and choose this map, I mean, they've got something up their sleeve here. It seems to be potentially a Mercy from SD Awesome and Flank Yada.
Yeah, that does seem to be what it is. It'll be good to see actually how much value they can get out of the Pharmacy Spongy Cheese coming out immediately on the Ash. So I mean the counters are there. The double shield also being set up here too by Minimax and Zorthcon. Double shield on both sides, actually. What do you make of that as an attack strat on this map?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of as far as the attack goes, we've seen from we've seen from Ilios that Geometric really loves to play this kind of comp anyways, where they kind of bunker up and wait for their DPS to really get a good pick. I think they're putting a lot of faith into SD Awesome and his Pharah here, in order to get picks. And he's going to be going into both Spongy Cheese's Ash and probably Titanic on the Echoes and putting a lot of energy into him as well. So we'll see how this goes. A little bit of a pause being called for, so never mind. We will see what goes on with that in a minute.
I know, unlucky somebody writes in chat too, because right before the pause came in, Titanic did take Flank Yada right out of the air. It looks like Rim Jazzberry is having to restart his client, so a bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, I mean, well, Flank Yada goes down, and now Rim Jazzberry has DC'd, so he's going to be going back to spawn as well. So pretty much as soon as the pause timer ends up going away, I mean, this is already a Geometric first fight loss here. Flank Yada, unfortunately, getting caught out by Titanic. SD Awesome, I would say, probably needs to do a little bit better job trying to position himself to make sure that Mercy isn't out in the open like she was.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. SD Awesome just kind of came in loaded to bear there over the top of the building and directly into the fire of the entire enemy team, right? Like, so Afara, when you're playing Iconwall, has to kind of rotate, right? Around that tower. The tower is the cover. And I kind of felt like Awesome just sort of floated there for a little bit, and we lose a Mercy as a result.
Alrighty, we're heading back into the game now. So gonna have a little bit of a lull in the fight here as both teams wait. As we're gonna wait for Rim and Flankiata to get back.
Oh no.
Oh, but now we're waiting for Tilted Waffle as well. A very nice frag play from Red Panda there on that little bit of an unsung hero for this team on that flex support role, but has been a very consistent performer for Wisdom all season long.
Shouldn't have peeked the angle. Simple as that. Fire playing a little bit more standoffish here, cleaving to that building on the right-hand side, just trying to get some rockets in. The pressure's starting to come forward now. Dynamite damage is taking up Spongy Cheese's ult, but Spongy Cheese in a dangerous position. Geekate down first. SD Awesome actually comes in, takes out the hard counter and the soft counter there as well. The pick coming back from Titanic, not enough to change or shift the tide of doom that's currently washing over Wisdom Academy. Zorfcon, the last man standing, beat down into the dirt by an accretion from their opposite, and that was a quick cap on the back of a couple of unsuccessful pushes.
Yeah, very, very well done. I can kind of see what they're going for now because the first picks on that fight from Geometric happened to be a perfectly timed Orisa pull into a Pharah Rocket, which, I mean, when you have like 3 or 4 people in there, that Pharah Rocket does so much damage. We can see the damage that SD Awesome's been doing, as well as Tilted Waffle, both of them 90+% to their ultimates.
Yeah, it is damaging to be sure. Up and over again, awesome!
Ooh.
Oh, a little bit of sniper action right there. Takes out their flying counterpart with one quick shot from the hip. And they'll continue this push forward. First corner already secured here. They're holding up under the bridge as Wisdom Academy, just trying to stall the bleeding. But again, SD Awesome's getting into the backline. Spongy Cheese, though, turning it around. Great job by the Ash. High Noon does come out. Zorfcon, the only victim there. They'll burn the shield down right away. But Spongy Cheese continuing to be the backbone of this defense here. And they'll actually push back up and take that first corner back again.
Great job from Spongy Cheese picking off Wooly early on in that fight. And I mean, it's so difficult to stay in a fight for very long when you lose your Baptiste, especially when Flankiata, your only other healer, is just basically on Pharah duty. However, SD Awesome has swapped to the Soldier here, potentially trying to get some, say a little, oh, and now it's a Hanzo. So maybe you're not so sure, and Tilted Waffle is now on the Ash. So lots of swaps, lots of DPS swaps coming out right now.
That was a good window right there. Minimax lucky to make that one out alive. The gold plating saving him from the majority of that damage. Geekcake has to be very careful here. They've kind of completely switched lines. The window comes out from Geek, but Geek dies in return. Was it worth the sacrifice? It's not exactly looking like it was. Red Panda has to throw in the Transcendence here just to keep the team in. That's a meaty critic. He'll get 2 off the back of that. Great play by Zorfcon, the Sigma. And the Sigma and Panda, Zorfcon, Red Panda, just trying to keep this alive, and they do.
Oh my god. I don't know who was first, but I saw Titanic or Zorfcon use their gravitic flux on the tank line of Geometric, and as soon as they hit the ground, the other Sigma was ready with a second gravitic flux, bringing the tanks up in the air again. They're like, please help me, I want to get off the ride.
Not allowed to play the game.
So funny.
Not a big fan of, I don't know what you call those actually, those rides where they take you up and drop you back down. A little bit of Tower of Terror action right there. You see this pressure from Awesome here on the top of the castle, dueling with Zorfcon, and actually Titanic's just going to come over the top and put an end to that. No fun allowed there for SD Awesome. The pressure just trying to come up these stairs right into a significant amount of firepower. They do have, I think the beatdown bomb goes out from one side or another, but no discernible value coming out from it. They're actually going to push straight up into the belly of the beast. They'll come right into the castle here, and Rip Jazzberry is setting back to the spawn. Titanic again just swooping in like some sort of vulture with these laser beams. A vulture with a laser beam, perhaps.
And this is the problem with playing these very long-range DPS characters like Etiosum on the Hanzo and Tilted Waffle on the Ash. They both tried to kind of get up to the top, but Titanic just got right in their face as on the Echo, and it's so difficult to hit your shots like that if you're Etiosum or Tilted Waffle in those situations. You kind of need to stick at a distance, and when you have an Echo with a honing beam on your face, that's so difficult. But here comes the Bob from Tilted Waffle to engage here.
Titanic clones the Sigma in midair, drops in like a parachuter on D-Day, sent packing almost immediately. Now the window coming out on the high ground. Now this is something they can play off of, and they will do so. Completely taking over that territory, evicting the defenders. And a weird role reversal here as Sorthcon and Minimax are forced back towards the cart. You want to know who was defending or who was attacking at this point in time fighting if we weren't telling you?
Really smart play from Wisdom, though. And the tanks realize this point is lost, but they drop down to the point and force the team to come back for them, and they have to force them off in order to get the point moving once again. We're now closing down onto 30 seconds left. This was probably the last fight territory, and I mean, I think Geometric were hoping to be able to pretty much capture point B off of that, but now they're playing into 4 ultimates from Wisdom Academy. They could potentially hold right here on Eichenwald Bridge.
Flux comes up, Flux goes down. Transcendence will come out almost immediately there, and a good Transcendence it is. Flux on the other side gets 3. That'll force the Transcendence out. Tilted Waffle, though, getting the early pick. The Ash is trading kills back and forth there. Zortkon just charging forward into the jaws of Death, and Death does meet him fully open mouth right there. Minimax trying to hold the front line in front of the cart. Just standing there, throws the bongo down as well. Will not give up. Surrender. They do want to hold it because they've invested the window. They've invested the clone. There's a bomb back here, bomb back there. Titanic loses their almost immediately. They're holding on to this. What's happened? Spongy Cheese came up from the backside and I think did major work right there. But SD Awesome now returning. Churn getting in on the action as well. They continue to try and just press this out. The pressure there will take Red Panda out of the fight. Minimax coming back on the Reinhardt. It's a Ryan Tracer action, with the rest of the team pouring back on. They're still going here, Dividing. They don't want to give this up.
No way, right? Like this has gone so back and forth, and now all of a sudden, after Wisdom Academy investing all of these damage boosted ultimates and looking like they might be able to push this back, now it's Geometric who have pushed themselves back onto the point, and they're getting picks, but now the picks are going back in favor of Wisdom. It's absolutely just a stall off right now, and neither team wants to let up.
There is no release here. The ball's still spinning there. Rim Jazzberry not giving up. Minefield coming down in front of the point. That's what he was waiting for, but he needs to get the stall formation going again, or he could be in serious danger. Churd loses the mech. Churd taken out of action completely. They're still going here, even as Flank Yada returns and is taken down almost immediately. Not surrendering. One of the longest stalls I think I've ever seen in my entire career of Overwatch. This fight still going, but there's the boiling forward of the team. No, Wooly touches. Awesome. The last person there. The Tracer has to get in. They can't. And at the bitter end, what a fight. What a stall. What an effort by both teams.
I mean, what is there to be said about what that fight went for? Like a solid minute and a half of both teams just desperately trying to stall, throwing in as many ultimates as they possibly could, and Wisdom comes out on top and holding Geometric before they can get point B is actually massive here, I have to say. Huge props to them for persevering through. I thought for sure they had lost it, but then they invested the bongo, they invested the window, and that was really what allowed them to start pushing back in to Geometric, who very much looked like they had the advantage there. But now they will be once again playing into SD Awesome's Pharah, which has proven to be a bit problematic for them. But I see a potential mirror on the other side coming up from Titanic and Geekake.
Yeah, Mirror indeed, and Spongy Cheese actually swapping over to the Widowmaker here, probably preemptively anticipating. No, don't go back to the Ash. Okay, fine. I was excited. I was like, that's interesting. Don't see a lot of Widow down here, but we won't, at least today. Gosh, that was a stall and a half. That was really something. I particularly like the part where the two balls were going around like an Einstein's cradle, just like bouncing into each other. 3-minute fight, I've been told. That's crazy. Oh. All right, well, Minimax leading the charge here with that Sigma. Zorthcon taking over the hamster role. We'll be playing hamster in tonight's production of Sigma Balls. There's the drop in by Zorthcon, and it's a good amount of damage on the slam, but the follow-up not really there from the team. Should actually allow them to get through the front door, and it does. Titanic, though, struggling a little bit, but it's Minimax getting an early pick. Tilted Waffle is off the field. There goes the counter for Titanic. That should give the Pharah some options to play with. If they can just get that pesky fuel management down, seems to be a bit of a problem. But even as I say that, actually comes over the top at SD Awesome, blows him out of the air, and bodies just continuing to fall here on the side of the defenders, one by one being picked off, almost in a piecemeal fashion, dividing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure where Tilted Waffle was to get caught out so early by the Sigma of all people, but that was a massive first pick. Without that Ash on the field, I mean, Titanic just had pretty much full range of the point, and no one from Geometric could really stop him from doing whatever he wanted. Now SC Awesome swaps to the hit scan of his own. They're going into full... Oh my gosh, but Tilted Waffle goes down again. He's just not hitting the shots he needs to hit right now. Titanic is going to have his ultimate on this next fight. And I mean, this is looking really tough for Geometric right now because they have 5 minutes. They have to hold this point for 5 minutes in order to even up the series right now. Tilted Waffle now on the Echo, trying desperately to find an answer to this.
Trying desperately not to die first, I think. They'll actually set the line here, and this defense a bit of a weird one. They're kind of missing the forest for the trees because they're all focused in on that Pharah. Meanwhile, on the other side, the cart more than happily rolling forward. Now you're in a really awkward positioning here. Oh, Titanic up and over with the barrage. Gets two, pays for it with their lives, but I'll take that trade any day of the week because that cart is still rolling. And they're basically forcing them into stall territory with 4 minutes left on the clock and a Bob there to usher the cart in.
I think SD Awesome standing on the point there might have been the first time that the cart ever stopped. Wisdom Academy with a dominant attack. It's looking like almost nothing is going to be able to stop them from that golden box of this victory. It is last stand time for Geometric, and here they come with the window.
Geometric fighting it out, getting the picks they needed to at least stem this arterial wound here of this cart just flowing forward towards, as you said, I quite like the golden box of victory. That's a good one. I'll remember that.
Okay, but now all of a sudden there's hope here for Geometric. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, but Wisdom poured everything into trying to win this map right here, right now. That's a pick. That's 2 picks now. Now the hope is draining for Geometric as Titanic and Spongy Cheese just destroyed them with the poke damage.
There was a glimmer of hope there. And the Blue Lantern ring went extinguished quite quickly. That's a really good Gravittix. It's got him up, it's got him down, it's got 2 picks, and it's both supports. Churn actually trying to turn this around to high noon.
No way.
Back of the ults coming out from the off tank and the McCree. They will tighten it down and hold the point, and that was not what I expected.
This is... You ran out of jetpack and fell off the side of the map to Titanic. That is really unfortunate. However, now what I was going to say was that Geometric had ult that they could try and ration out for its entire 3 minutes. They had to use everything that they had in order to hold on to the point right there. Now the ultimate advantage goes back to the side of Wisdom Academy, who will have a barrage, they'll have a Valkyrie, and probably mines as well. And SC Awesome first picked again.
A Pharah clone coming in here. That's not one you see every day, and we won't be seeing it for very long because Tilted Water Cheese was on that Titanic, Red Panda getting the picks. Okay, now there's no ults that can save you now. There's a window there, and you're not even really able to use it. Church kind of forced up. Minimax getting in on the action. Somebody's got to stall this out. Minefield comes in. The ball might actually be able to clear some of the worst danger of that. But now it's just Rim Jazzberry. The lone wrecking ball, not enough. There's a last minute touch there by Wooly on the Lucio. Tracer tried to get there, got caught and blown down. And Wisdom Academy takes map 2 and goes up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Geometric obviously had a plan coming into this Eichenwald map, and it just did not work out the way they wanted. I don't think Tilted Waffle had the impact that they were hoping he would have. I don't think the SC Awesome Pharah was quite as devastating as they hoped it would be. I will say, really incredible play from Geometric on that play of the game in order to keep the map alive for just a moment longer. But it just felt like a matter of time until Wisdom finally broke through.
Yeah, that was about as good as a gravitic flux as you kind of ever will see, right? From a lone Sigma holding down the point. So quite impressive stuff there. But again, I mean, that was Geometric's map pick. So that is not great, right? You want to win those. Those are what's supposed to give you an opportunity to get to equal footing in the series. It is a long haul, matchup. So you got some time to try and turn this around. And it'll be interesting to see here what they pick from the escort maps.
Going down into a 2-0 hole this early on in the series has to be disheartening for Geometric, especially on a map that they were pretty confident on. They must have been in Eichenwald. They are now choosing Dorado for their escort map, which again seems to favor their play style, their kind of double shield bunker pick related play style. And now we have a swap coming in for Wisdom Academy, Alpha Omega swapping in for Spongy Cheese.
I will say, though, I mean, they keep picking maps that are Pharah favorable. And I do think they have a better Pharah player in the form of SD Awesome. Titanic, we saw, was really struggling with the fuel economy. And yeah, sure enough, like they got the upper hand a couple of times there. I did feel like on balance, SD Awesome's Pharah play was more impactful, was more effective.
Yeah.
If that's what they're going for.
I would think that's what they're going for. But I just think they really need something to come together here, especially on Dorado. Geometric, I think it's starting to get a little bit desperate here for them. This is their second map pick in a row. They picked it very quickly. They seem very confident about it. This could be a very pivotal map because if Wisdom Academy ends up winning this and going up 3-0, I mean, a reverse sweep in a first to 4 series it's about as difficult a feat as it comes. So Geometric really needs to start turning the tides here. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's a charitable way to put it. I mean, if they go down 3-0 in the hole, that's worst case scenario. It literally doesn't get any worse than that. So we'll see. Well, I guess it does in the sense that you could lose, but outside of that, we'll see what they do here. Alpha Omega what does that indicate to you?
Alpha Omega seems to be. From what I've seen, Alpha Omega doesn't seem to be a certain hero kind of thing. He just seems to come in when they play escort maps. I've seen him in on Rialto a lot. I've seen him in, I guess he's going in on Dorado as well. I think this is just kind of the map type that they play with Alpha Omega. They're very comfortable having him in on those escort maps. I don't really plan to see their strategy change very much. I assume we're probably still going to see Alpha Omega on those hit scan heroes on that Ashe a lot. But this is just kind of a comfort thing for Wisdom, which I think is kind of goes with their general gameplay philosophy, which is play what we're comfortable with.
Yeah, you're probably right there. I mean, if it's the escort map specialist coming in, the escort map specialist DPS, sure, why not? You specialize in a hero, you can specialize in maps too.
Yeah, why not?
Or a game type, I guess, maybe is a better thing to say. But Taking a moment, I think, to get ready here. They are on the clock, obviously. Dorado, of course, an interesting map, does play into the long sidelines, plays into Farah, well, up until the bitter end. Third point gets a little tricky for the flying characters, but still usable, right? Always a good dive map, too, even to this day, though. I don't know if we'll necessarily see that.
I would love to see some dive comps. Geometric aren't necessarily the team to shy away from a dive, but in grand finals here against a team they're already down 2-0 against, I imagine we're probably going to see a lot of the same, a lot of double shield and a lot of pick compositions with some Ash and probably some Echo and maybe some Far as well. I don't think there's going to be much change from what we saw on Eichenwald here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the temptation probably to play the Sigma hamster is going to be a little too much. This is a good ball map, actually. You can get a lot of value off of this. A lot of grappleable. I don't know if I'm not sure what the right word is. Things that you can hook onto with your grapple. We'll use more words that are necessary to describe it. Places here for a wrecking ball to kind of get value. There's legends for the tricking if that's what you're into. So I assume that we'll be seeing that ball play. Zorthcon has been playing it quite well. And actually, in all fairness, too, Rip Jazzberry has been doing a good job on the ball as well. So it's good to see both of them going at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the 5 minutes are up, so ready or not, here we go into Dorado. Geometric needs to put something together on this map if they want to keep their chances to I wouldn't necessarily say they have no chance if they go down 3-0, because I don't want to completely rule out the possibility of a reverse sweep, but it becomes incredibly unlikely.
Yeah. It really do be like that, though. You do not want to go down 3-0, and they have to know that, right? These are guys who are experienced players. They have to know it. Rim Jazzberry coming out on the ball, Churd on the Sigma. The other side actually favoring us with the double shield here, so not exactly what I expected. Well, I mean, they are on the defense, so perhaps it does make a little bit more sense.
All right, so, well, I mean, if Rim is going to be playing this wrecking ball here, he needs to be able to give value, especially right here when we see Team Wisdom kind of setting up on the high ground here. He needs to get some nice roll-throughs, potentially boot people off the high ground in order to get swallowed up by the rest of the team. Now, that's the kind of play that we're going to be looking for out of the wrecking ball here, as Wisdom are set up on that high ground that people love to set up on Dorado. But Alpha getting a pick on the tilted immediately. That's just the escort specialist diff.
Oh, yeah, that is the escort specialist diff. Tilted waffle. That's unfortunate. Having a bit of a rough day, actually, when it comes to getting picked early in fights. The rotate actually already being forced off the high ground here, though. Wisdom Academy does have to come back around and just take that low ground position. That should open up a little bit of room for SD Awesome here. Titanic doing their best to contest over the top. Meanwhile, rolling through the back line is Rim Jazzberry there. He doesn't get the disruption that he quite wanted off of that, and really it's just a hectic exchange of fire here. SD Awesome going down, though. Titanic getting that early sting and slowing down this push. Alpha Omega, the favor is returned. They're trading DPS. Minimax knocked up in a lot of danger. The Orisa falling back does get behind the shield. The immortality field coming in as well, but it doesn't save him from Awesome. Over the top there. Finishes off the main tank and tries to break it open. The window dramatically misplaced by Geekake. Oh no, they'll want that one back, and they're trying their best to make use of it, but really it's not to be there still. Despite that maybe slight slip up, they'll be able to kind of drive him off.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate window placement from Geekake, but the numbers were already very much in Wisdom's side. And again, I'm just not 100% sure about this Wrecking Ball pick because, Rim is going to take a couple seconds to get set up every time he tries to roll through here. And when he does that, and then he gets completely caught and taken out. It's just not, I don't know, because while he's setting up, the rest of the team is fighting a 5v6. SD Awesome, though, is going to duplicate the Sigma to try and turn this.
Up comes the Flux. That'll slow them down. Awesome, not quite able to generate one. There it is, and that's a good one, too. It's got 4 bodies in it. No kills picked up, but Churd follows up their duplicate. with some big kills right there. Awesome, chipping in on the action as well. An Immortality Field does go down here, allows the 2 tanks to try and steady the line, but it won't be enough. Minimax rotating back around to the point as the Awesome just will not start farming kills, and Flanky out of there puts the finishing touch on it. They'll roll this cart forward and through point number 1.
That was a pivotal gravitic flux from Shurd. Honestly, if that kind of play didn't come in, it didn't get any kills, but it knocked so many people on Geometric so low, and it came late enough in the fight where there really wasn't much that Wisdom could do to stop it. And if that didn't happen, I could see like the full hold for Wisdom coming through. Luckily, we do get to see a point of Dorado today. As Tilted Waffle will have the Bob coming in, but both tank ults are going to be what Wisdom has to work with, including the Gravitic Flux. Flankiata has a ways to go. And Tilted Waffle has been kind of caught out, way out in front. He will get away, but Rim Jazzberry gets traded instead.
Well, Gravitic coming out again, a little bit less value on that one. The Bob did come out here from Tilted, kind of manages to put a little bit of distance there. The cart heavily contested, but not for long. They'll actually push forward. I'm still trying to figure out why they just abandoned the high ground like that. They had full control, and they just kind of jumped down.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of panic there from Wisdom Academy, saying, "Hey, we got to touch this point right now, or else we're just gonna get free push." But now here they come using the bongo to push up. But as you can see, as the team pushes up, they completely lose the power of that bongo if it loses line of sight with them. A little bit unfortunate, but Rim Jazzberry goes down anyways, and Geo falls back.
Yeah, just playing back here, trying to take some room, take some distance. Minimax will get that line set with the shield. They are contesting the high ground, which is absolutely necessary, but a little couple of testing shots there from Awesome, who does have that clone.
Yeah, SC Awesome and Titanic are both going to have their duplicates coming out there. Alpha Omega will win the sniper duel against Tilted Waffle. He gets rezzed up, but Shurd is down as well.
The fight really boiling here. Awesome coming out with the flux again. Only gets Minimax in on that. Drops him right down. The kill feed lighting up bright red, though. Titanic there on the back line does have the ult if they choose to use it. It would be most unwise to invest it, especially unwise because they trade out with their opposite number. Bob coming in to delay the point, and that was a really solid Bob there by Alpha Omega, actually. Just buying time for the team to regroup.
Oh, and now the trans too. I mean, this is the perfect stall coming out for Wisdom, but Rim getting a nice double kill there. Minimax has swapped to the Rhine in order to try and stall this more, but here comes the trans from Flankiata.
Oh, it's a good flux too. That'll take Red Panda out of the fight. Minimax is here though. Minimax is gone though. SD Awesome trying to get in on the action. SD Awesome has been the perpetual reaper for this team. And proving up to the challenge, Flankiata to the Zenyatta, popping off there, getting 3 and securing them that push. Those two together, I think, have combined for the majority of their team's kills.
Now Wisdom is going to be swapping back to the Shadow Brawl comp that they love to play so much. And I will say on point C of Dorado, where there's very limited space for that Wrecking Ball and that Echo to maneuver, I'd say that this is actually a pretty good decision from Wisdom.
Where is the Wrecking Ball, actually? That's...
Way behind. Here he comes.
I was like, where is he? He's gone. It doesn't matter. He's way too late. Alpha Omega already there with support from Minimax. They'll just clear out that front line and force a reset.
Again, I mean, Wisdom just pressed W, and they had good timing in order to do it. It's just really good play from them. They know how to play this sort of brawl comp through months of working on it together as a team. However, they do all have a bit of a ways to go before they get ultimate on the board. But who needs ultimates when you have Minimax's hammer?
Yeah, who needs ultimates indeed? Minimax showing them the door there, escorting them back to the respawn room. Did look very dangerous there for a second though, Dividing. There were a lot of very low health bars for about a 10-second span on the side of Wisdom Academy.
Titanic is coming in for he will go out, but oh no, now this is getting very iffy. Rim Jazzberry finally swaps over to the Orisa, and Wooly will swap to the Brigitte as well to try and nullify that that Sombra of Titanic. Good start. He gets bursted down there.
Ooh.
But they need to be able to sustain through this Coalescence and all the other ults that Wisdom has.
No. Bob, just tourist, is passing through the fight. Still, though, the kills are racking up here in favor of the attackers. Geometric doing major work. Bob, sadly a non-factor. That's it, where they do have an EMP, though.
And now, if you're Flankiata, you have quite the pickle right now, because you've got the Shatter from Wisdom, you've got the EMP from Titanic, Zorthcon and Alpha Mega will be coming up on their ult soon. What do you use his Transcendence on? It will be the EMP, sustaining them through this EMP Shatter combo.
Great Transcendence there, and it allows Tilted Waffle to get some big picks. Bomb comes out immediately shielded there by Churd. Now they'll get their opportunity to try and take some space. They'll run face first into Minimax. The Flux coming in. They're both tanks in that. Tanks get hit by Dynamite. Tanks deleted there on the front line. SD, awesome. Cleaning house and escorting them forward once again. Awesome, an absolute menace, a terror from the skies, and once more Flankiata involved in a big way. Sure, doing the majority of the consumption duties to keep that car moving. Geek will desperately try and touch to keep things going, and a good boop there will prevent a last-minute stall from the ball, and they'll rotate in. And honestly, I don't want to put too much on them, but Titanic should have known better. Like, they literally saw the Zenyatta hide.
Yeah.
And they did it anyway.
They did it anyway, but I will say Flankiata is the Novice Division League 0 MVP, and that kind of play was the kind of reason why. If that Transcendence was not there from Flankiata, no question, they lose that fight and do not end up finishing this map.
Flankiata.
So, yeah, while you a little bit of misplay from Wisdom to kind of shove everything they had into that fight at once. Great play from Flankiata to keep his team up throughout it.
MVP and hide-and-seek champion right there. Really good at hiding. Literally disappeared in front of his opponent's eyes. Hide-and-seek
champion and League 0 MVP in that order.
In that order, indeed. Yeah, it was really well, obviously really well predicted, and it's hard for Zenyatta's. It's kind of much easier for a Lucio. Back when Lucio was the one who kind of had to do that hide and sound barrier routine, far easier for him, far more mobile, far quicker. So it does take a little bit of skill for the Zenyatta to find that space, but running a double shield, or running the, I should say, hamster ball with a lot of high ground damage presence here on the defense.
Yeah, both teams opting to run a Wrecking Ball comp here. Rim really wants to play this Wrecking Ball, and they have done and they have prepared for it clearly. And it's Zorthcon who gets focused down in the back first. So beautiful job there from Geometric. I guess when you play this comp a lot, you learn a lot about how to play against it.
Yeah, Zorthcon definitely going into the wrong part of town right there. Just getting annihilated. Speaking of annihilated, Tilted Waffle actually almost got hooked out, called out right there, and nearly got killed. Sure, though, taking Titanic out early on. Zorthcon came rolling in from the backline there, trying to disrupt this high ground hold and get the opportunity to do so. Good pick there from Alpha Omega. This cart will continue to roll, and it will force the rotate as Chur drops around on the front side and just tries to slow this push a little.
Yeah, I mean, Rim is so lucky to be alive. Had just a sliver of health left on his first roll through, but now both teams killing through a lot of different trials and tribulations right now. So many low health bars, but great job from the supports. No one going down just yet. There goes Churd.
Churd got annihilated, but his team is quick to capitalize on the space that his death somehow created, because they're there, and then the worst of it is mitigated. The fight's still going here. Zorthcon with a good little bit of technical play to get that slam in, but too little too late, and what could have been a sterling opportunity for Wisdom Academy did not manifest itself.
Yeah, Churd found himself a step or two far out in front of the rest of his team, and Wisdom capitalized, but I guess he fed on purpose, because he kind of forced everyone to look at him, and then all of a sudden, Geometric was able to get both supports.
We call him bait.
Yeah, bait.
Chur
Beautiful bait.
the bait right there. The pop in the middle of the action, been thrown forward, shooting away at the machine guns, is beaten down quite quickly. As the Awesome, though, did get a kill. Gravitic comes out. Ooh, Minimax the only one picked up in that. Minimax will survive comfortably. On the backside of that, Tilted Waffle is res back in, but as the Awesome will be the next casualty down. The Transcendence forced out early here as that Bob comes out. Alpha Omega's Bob cleaning up there. The Transcendence not reaching quite far enough, and this cart will continue to roll forward. A very aggressive push forward from Zorthcon, and a Flux in as well. Minimax there with kind of a sniper Flux through the doorway. That was something.
That was something, but I mean, they didn't necessarily need it, though, is the problem. Geometric really did invest everything they had into a losing fight there, trying to clutch it out. Now they have absolutely nothing going into this next fight, which means, you know, Minimax, they have sort of wasted his Flux there, but it doesn't end up meaning that much because Wisdom very securely still has the ultimate advantage going into point B.
Speaking of ult advantage, Zorthcon, considering the minefield there, does not go for it, rolls back. Minimax! Oh no, caught out alone on the high ground is the Sigma. Minimax dies, and that's a little bit rough because that's escorting the entirety of Wisdom Academy back towards their spawn now, just trying to get a little bit of distance. Great play by Zorthcon there, actually, to help him get out safely.
Yeah, and right here you see kind of the difference between Geometric and Wisdom. If Geometric loses a couple of players at the beginning of a fight, they will do whatever it takes to try and take that fight anyways, whether that's, you know, pushing in super aggressively, using several ultimates that they didn't necessarily need to use. Wisdom loses someone at the beginning of the fight, and they just get out and try and go for a full 6. Just really interesting to see these two playstyles collide. Oh no, Geekake!
Ooh, Geekate caught by the minefield of Rim Jazzberry, but Titanic now doing some work, gets that clone, gets a clone Bob in as well. Now Bob is the master of the high ground. There was an opportunity to boop him there, and they will finally get him down, but he'll actually turn around and start clearing mines. Still the kills coming in. Minimax and Alpha there doing the hard work, and that high ground position still not safe.
Yeah, but Wisdom kind of neglecting the point there for a second, potentially opening up the doors for a Geometric recontest. Zorthcon does go down, and here comes Bob, but Bob kind of veering off course. He's not going to be able to contest this point.
Oh, Tilted Waffles Bob's, I don't know what they put in his programming. Still on sightseeing mode right there. Kind of sails right past the main fight, but it's Churd. Who needs Bob when you have Churd there fighting it out, getting them picks? Flankiata following up, doing a little bit of a dual act there as well. Titanic tries to fight that one back and then accepts the cold inevitability of defeat.
Yeah, I mean, congrats, Titanic. You focused beam down a Mercy. Yeah, teabag it up, man. I mean, that was deserved.
It's mental, man. It's a mental game, you know?
Yeah, I guess so, man.
I can't wait until they start putting teabagging in chess. I don't really take it to the next level. The true mental game. I don't know. This situation looking a little bit difficult here, and it seems as if they're about ready to start their fight. Minimax trying to take control of this high ground tier on the right-hand side, and will do so, but Alpha getting taken out early on. Awesome goes in for the dive bomb. Doesn't find the value that they needed. Still has a Discord. Still has to play a little bit carefully. Will take Geekake out of it. Oh, Wisdom Academy is getting their roll slowed here. 35 seconds on the clock, and they're running out of time to make something happen.
This is going to be an explosive fight, Corvette. Both teams can potentially have all 6 ults online here. It's going to come down to who ends up using them better. But Red Panda going down early. Where was he? Why was he up so far?
I don't know. Zenyatta, I think he was trying to peek or something. Maybe got picked out early on. 10 seconds left, and he's not going to be able to float back fast enough. Bob thrown in early. That'll try and get him around the corner. They've got more to play with. The Flux coming in on the other side.
Red Panda doesn't have the trans yet.
Oh, there was no trans, and Churd just clears the deck. They'll get a cloned Sigma in as well. Zorthcon tries to roll forward, tries to contest, but the mines are there. Trapped between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea is the ball player trying to make it work. Here comes Red Panda. Red Panda desperately trying to generate a Transcendence before they die. Will not find it. And it's just Geekake now who tries to make it happen, and it does not happen. And Geometric finally takes a map in the series and takes us to 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I said they needed a map win here, and they did end up getting it. Oh man, I don't know what Red Panda was thinking there. I'm sorry, man, but
Yeah.
like getting picked off there. I mean, he had about 20% of ult left until he had his trends. It's very possible that if he hadn't gotten picked off there, he could have built up the rest of that transcendence and been able to nullify that flux from Shirt.
You're right, and it's such a shame too because Red Panda was actually playing a really great game the entire time. Just one slight mistake on positioning, one peak too many, or however that exactly went down, and getting picked. That was like the worst case scenario for the Zenyatta. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we might be going into a break here. I think they get a choice, right? Is that
Yeah,
how it works
so
dividing?
yeah, so between maps 3 and 6 of these grand finals, if we do end up going to 6 maps, the teams do have up to 10 minutes to take a break and relax and talk about what's happened so far instead of the usual 5. I would say if Wisdom ended up winning Dorado there and we were up 3-0, then, would have been it would have been almost a done deal, and that would have been it. However, now that Geometric has taken a map off of Wisdom here, this is potentially a much more interesting series. Now it's going to be Wisdom who has a map pick here on Assault. We're very interested to see what they go with here. And Geometric has said that they will want a 10-minute break here. So we will be having, makes sense for Geometric. Sort of, they took a map here, but they're still kind of on the ropes going into Wisdom's map pick, especially. So it's gonna be difficult, and they definitely need to have some. They definitely need to talk about how they want to deal with the rest of this match.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break here on the production side as well. Don't go anywhere, though. An exciting Novice Grand Finals, a grudge match just starting to get grudgy here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the other side of this quick break.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking with us. My name is Dividing, and alongside me is Corbs, bringing you the League Zero Season 3 Novice Division Grand Finals. Right now, Wisdom Academy is up 2-1 on Geometric. However, Geometric seemed to be turning the tides a bit after a very strong performance on Dorado.
Yeah, it was a strong performance on Dorado Dividing. They did a really good job there to kind of stop the momentum of Wisdom Academy's attack at second point. They didn't even get to third. Finally, it looked like the pieces were sort of starting to slot together for Geometric, because on those first two maps, they seemed a little out of sorts. They seemed like they were struggling to get the most value out of this Ball Sigma comp. And they finally found the keys to the kingdom right there as the map pick comes in from Wisdom Academy, and it looks like they'll be taking us to Egypt and the Temple of Anubis.
I'm a little bit surprised about this one. During the break, I was thinking about the kinds of maps that Wisdom would want to pick here for Assault. I was more thinking of Volskaya because of how much they want to play these brawl comps, and especially on point B. Those kind of Reinhardt brawl comps tend to have a lot of success. We will be swapping sides here. Of course, that's the winners of the last map. Geometric get to pick their side. So they're going to be starting off on the defense. And it may be because also very effective on Volskaya is Farah, and they might be a little bit scared of going up against SD Awesome's Farah again.
It's possible. I mean, it's not as if Temple of Anubis is a bad map for Farah either, though. She can be pretty deadly here, but definitely a little bit more of a struggle than on Anubis, that's for sure. Just based on Skybox alone, you'd have a harder time. But I don't know. Both these sides, I think, have really favored that Echo over the Farah, which is something that I can't necessarily blame them for. I think Echo in general is just the stronger of the two heroes.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. Echo is able to unload so much damage, and the honing beam is incredible for focusing down people, focusing down enemies, and then you get to her ultimate, which is like it's pretty much the best ultimate in the game, because you can choose which ultimate you want based on the situation you're in right now.
Yeah.
Like I've seen teams, it's so funny to me to watch teams like play Echo, and then the Echo exclusively copies the Sombra, because you want the EMP, but you don't necessarily want Sombra. So you use Echo and you get both.
Yeah, I would say that it's up there the top ults in the game right now. It'd be a toss-up between, I mean, EMP I think may be the strongest ult, but
okay, here's something very interesting. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Prince Zexu is going to be coming in for Rim Jazzberry with less than 1 minute to go before we head in. Prince Zexu has been Geometric's starting main tank for the majority of the season. Rim Jazzberry obviously loves to play that Wrecking Ball. I assume that's most of the reason why he was in. When I see Prince Zexu, as we start going into Temple of Anubis now, I am expecting to see a lot more traditional main tank play. I'm expecting to see a lot of Orisa. I'm also very interested to see if Prince Zexu will bring out his Reinhardt here.
Yeah, I was just going to say Zexu. That immediately makes me think Ryan. Is the choice. His Reinhardt is very good. It's really strong, really competent, playing above the level that we're at, definitely on that Ryan. Whether or not they can get a lot of value out of it going into a double shield comp on the other side, I don't know, but we won't get to see it now because Prince Xu is coming out on the Orisa and Minimax is coming out on the Winston. So showing double shield and showing dive respectively.
Yeah, I mean, that's fairly standard for first point Anubis defense. I think that overall this is a very good comp here coming out from Geometric. Very much a very spammy comp and a very, very sturdy comp as well. Meanwhile, Wisdom is going to be doing a lot of dive from Minimax and Zorthcon. That's a little bit of a hybrid comp, as Titanic and Spongy Cheese will be offering a lot of poke damage on that Widow and Echo.
Yeah, expect Titanic probably to dive in there with the two tanks and see what they can do. Zorthcon, of course, rolling up to the entrance there, playing it a bit casually and quietly. No side, they're not really eager to get started here. And even as I say that, though, there's the initial dive. In comes Minimax. In comes the ball. There goes Minimax. There goes the ball. And just like that, we'll go and reconsider our options.
Yeah, that did not go very well for Wisdom Academy there. Here's the problem, right? Is that your supports in this case are Zenyatta and Mercy. Zenyatta makes sense for a dive comp. You want to discord somebody, but having Geekick on the Mercy makes it very difficult to keep those tanks sustained, especially when they are the only two jumping into 5 players from Geometric. They're gonna just get melted instantly, and that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, they'll go in again, though. They don't want to slow down. They'll actually make something happen that time because Wooly will die, but Minimax follows them almost immediately into the grave. Geekick! Oh, that was too ambitious of a res there by the Mercy, and they pay for it with their life and get the reset again.
That time we see sort of the idea of Wisdom's comp come in, which is to cause confusion with Minimax and Zorthgon diving in, and while their heads are turned, Spongy Cheese takes off their heads. Unfortunately, while they got the pick, it didn't end up going very well. And it just feels like they're feeding ult charge right now to Geometric as they are continuing to get pick after pick, especially Tilted Waffle having a field day on this Junkrat.
There's a reason that dive comps ran a diva. Like, there's a reason for it, and the reason being the D matrix allows you to eat up a lot of the initial damage that's being pumped in on a Winston. That's not going to happen with a ball. You're just not going to have that. So if you can't get the kill with the initial damage spike, you're in a lot of trouble.
This is interesting, though. Spongy Cheese on the Tracer now, so they're going more divey now.
They sure are. Titanic gets the clone in there with the Sigma, so there's an opportunity to make something happen. Out comes the beatdown bongos from Zexu. That enables his team to do quite a bit of damage, but not enough to slow down this Flux, and the Flux really throws him down. The kills trading back and forth in a fast and furious fashion, as somehow Minimax is solo dueling both of the enemy tanks on the front line before finally popping the Primal and taking Churn on a little ride over to the point. They'll double back around and get Zexu as well, and finally we'll get that turnaround, but a bit ugly.
What a high value res from Geekcake there after sort of a botched one before. I mean, it's crazy how long Minimax was just able to pretty much stand in front of Prince Zexu and Sherd and take up all of their attention as the rest of the team fought for the point and ended up winning it.
Yeah, definitely an ugly take, but a take nonetheless. There comes the ball dropping in with the minefield. Good minefield from Zorthcon. Actually takes Wooly out. That's a big support to lose early on. The Gravitic comes in and actually catches a Falcon Mercy and slams him down, but it's not enough there. Zorthcon's still alive, still fighting. In comes the tire. Ambitious tire does get Spongy Cheese. Takes him a little while. I was kind of waiting with bated breath there to see what would happen with it. Zorthcon the only one on the point. And I think they're going to give this one up. Nope, they're recommitting. They've got their main tank back.
Oh, and Minimax trapped. Oh no.
Drops into a trap and drops right in front of Reaper, who basically sees the free buffet sign flashing above poor Minimax's head.
Yeah. As soon as I saw both Prince Zexu and Minimax get traded out for each other all over the place. Also, interestingly, Prince Zexu swapped briefly onto the Diva there. I think that's probably a first. But he will, after using the bongo there, he's going to go onto his signature Reinhardt in order to try and hold this point for another 2 minutes and 50 seconds here.
And an early pulse bomb attempt there by Spongy Cheese falls short. Up and over comes Minimax, and Minimax gets clobbered in mid-air even before he even touches the ground. A shatter from the clone. Far too little too late there. That gate may have been misplaced, but they don't even need it. Spongy Cheese dies in the middle of the point, and yeah, it's a deep recovery mission there from Titanic.
That was an incredible immortality field from Flankiata there. I mean, I think that could have been a double kill dupe shatter from Titanic if it wasn't for that. Now, with him swapping over onto the Sombra, we now have Wisdom going back to their signature comp of this series. Whether or not it's been a little iffy on whether or not it's necessarily been worked or not, but with 2 minutes left, this is pretty much a really good time to swap, as all heroes will have plenty of time to build up their ults.
Yeah, Tilted Waffle here playing in kind of a pocket position on this McCree, just trying to back up his Reinhardt as the fight begins to broil. There's a Fire Strike coming in, doing some meaty damage, and a Death Blossom following it up. Geekade goes down, flank out his Immortality Field drops. Now they're just trading kills back and forth here. Neither side really able to take big advantage. It's a good shatter from Zexu, and that'll break the back of the attack.
Yeah, great job from Zexu, recognizing that Minimax was charging in and just using the Shatter to completely nullify whatever that could have done. Now, with a minute and 15 left on the clock, Wisdom, a lot of their key characters like Geekig and Titanic aren't necessarily on pace to build up their ults by the time this fight ends. However, they will be coming in with the Shatter and the Coalescence here. But here comes... Oh, no, that's not good.
Oh, Tilted Waffle, sorry, Tilted Waffle rolls around the corner there with the high noon. Gets a D.Va back for his troubles, nearly got a little bit more, but it was a great play there by Zorthcon to shut him down. The Coalescence, letting them push forward here, the window coming out. Tilted Waffle finally wins his duel versus the baby D.Va and walks face first in the Titanic's Uzi. They'll continue to fight. Minimax will go down. Zexu now kind of free of the jail on the right-hand side, gets another Shatter in! Zexu charging that Shatter up quite quickly, allows them to go forward. And sorry for cutting you off there. It just was looked like it could be very entertaining.
No, I mean, no, it's totally fine. And now Wisdom in a bit of a pickle. They do have the ults to potentially win this point, but it will be an overtime, and it's going to be a very rushed attack here as they have to just get onto this point. Titanic will have the touch, and that is a good Shatter, but it doesn't get Wooly.
Oh, the sound barrier comes out, and it's a good sound barrier to cover it up. Awesome tries for the Death Blossom, won't find it. Takes out his opposite number, and a great Immortality Field by Flank Yada, keeping the team alive. Minimax, though, will try and surge them back into it and pays for it with his life. And now the kills starting to stack up here for the defense, and they will hold. And they will hold tightly. Titanic not able to touch at the end. And a masterful second point defense coming out from Geometric.
This is looking very good for Geometric. The first couple maps, they looked very iffy. It honestly might have been... I mean, Prince Zexu had such an impact on that map. Within, like, those 2 minutes, I mean, on that Reinhardt, he had 2 or 3 Shatters. He built them up extremely quickly. And more importantly, I think with having their sort of traditional starting main tank in, Geometric seems a little more grounded, a little more sort of composed in their actions there. They were much more prepared to deal with Wisdom's Brawl playstyle.
It could honestly just be that they're not trying to make the ball work.
Maybe.
It could be part of it. I mean, you do kind of, now you do have a clear main tank presence to rally around, and they really did seem to rally around it. I mean, Zexu was playing spectacularly on that second point, got 2 Shatters in the blink of an eye, and put both of them to good use.
Interestingly, Wisdom are coming out on the defense with the dive tanks. You've got the Winston and the D.Va. I'm not 100% sure about this decision. Minimax definitely set up to try and get a lot of cleave damage. But I don't know. It just seems like this kind of comp is asking to get run over by the Reinhardt Sigma comp that Geometric are showing right now.
I was just thinking the same thing, actually. That's a lot of armor on Reinhardt's body. And if there's one thing a Tesla gun, or the Tesla gun does not do well, it is cleave through armor. And the push already coming in fast and furious there. They'll get right up to the high ground and reposition.
But the cleave damage from Titanic, I must say, 60% to his tire already.
Oh, yeah, chunky stuff. Good wall, though. Zorthcon in serious danger. Somehow the D.Va mech survives that? Titanic dies, Tilted Waffle getting in on the action as well, so that's both DPS out of the equation. And just like you said, you Nostradamus, you dividing, they get run over right there in that attack.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't seem... It felt like the point of that comp was probably to try and get some cleave damage and get some picks as Geometric went for their rotations. But I mean, it just didn't end up working as soon as Geometric were able to put together a sort of a decent put together a decent presence on point, it was over. And now they have 6 minutes to take one tick of point A and tie up the series.
No, look at this wall. Zexu swinging away. Awesome getting in with the high noon as well. Early casualties coming in. Tire from the backside. Gets no one. Only takes out an immortality field. Awesome continues to push up. Zexu has not stopped swinging that hammer. They'll clear the point. And a resounding return from the bench for Zexu to lead his team to a clean victory on Anubis.
That was clean. That was dominant. That notably was Wisdom's map pick, considering that Wisdom did win on one of Geometric's map picks earlier. In order to win this finals, Geometric needed to win at least one of Wisdom's. Now the series has been tied up once again at 2-2. This is an entirely new ballgame we're talking about here, Korbeck.
It really is, and it's starting to show us that this series does indeed have, as Cake would say, is going the distance, as it were. They're tied up 2-2 now, and it'll be another map pick here for Wisdom Academy. And ooh boy, with Zexu in, he feels like he's almost breathed some life into this lineup. That was a super clean take of second point Anubis, actually.
Yeah. So now, of course, considering, also, I think. Acri will be very pleased to know this now that both teams are tied up 2-2. This is, of course, the closest, not only the closest grand finals that we have so far this season, but the second closest grand finals we've had in any season of League Zero. Of course, the only thing that tops it as of right now is Plat Chat versus Pepega Parrots in the season 1, I believe, grand finals that went to a full 7 maps.
Plat Chat versus Pepega Parrots. Well, I don't know. I think we could very possibly see that here. The next map pick looks like it's going to be Nepal coming out from them. Busan is being held back for a 3-3 scoreline. That is the tiebreaker map. So it will be Nepal as the choice. And
Rim coming back in for Prince.
Why?
Well,
that's not a knock on Rim, by the way, who was playing very well. That's not a knock. I just feel like
they looked really good. They looked really good. I agree with you there. I also think that Nepal, I think that Nepal is a map where the Wrecking Ball can get a lot of value. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for the Wrecking Ball to, especially on I think it's Shrine. I don't remember. It's the one. Or Temple. I don't remember. It's the one with the holes that you can knock people into.
That would be Sanctum.
That would be Sanctum. I'm really bad at that.
That's okay.
But I mean, there's definitely a lot of opportunity. What I will say is that they will put Prince Zexu in on maps where they think they will play Reinhardt, and I think Geometric is either on these maps going to play Double Shield or Sigma Ball comps. And in that case, I think they prefer to have Rim in. Which is really tough considering how dominant Prince Zexu looked. But I mean, if they weren't practicing the Reinhardt comps, it's probably better for them to keep him out.
Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of on balance too, right? There's at least one good Reinhardt stage at Nepal, which is Village. Lends itself really well to that. On the other side, there's probably 2 good ball stages. Shrine, which is the one that's outside, and then the indoor one, Sanctum, also favors a ball play, I would say, as well. So you can see the calculus at work. Looks like the rest of the lineup's going to stay relatively what it was, though.
Yeah, looks like Wisdom, I mean, they've been running this 6 this whole time, except for when they swapped out Alpha Omega on Dorado. Geometric, with a quick swap from Prince Zexu, this seems to be their main 6 group on both sides. And no matter what, we will have a team coming out of this one on match and tournament league point, as both teams indicate their readiness.
Well, let's jump into Nepal then and see what we can up here. As you said, a critical map, right? You're going from being tied to one side defending themselves and the other side trying to push themselves over the line for the title. So we'll see what we got as we get started here. Unfortunately, on Village, the more Rhine favored one.
Yeah, don't think that's the map that you wanted to see popping up first if you
No.
are geometric. Kind of gonna end up being forced into a double shield kind of comp if I assume. Actually, Rim is going to be locking the Reinhardt. So, I've honestly never seen Rim play Reinhardt. I'll be very interested to see how this one goes, as the Ryan Arisa gets put in on both sides, actually completely mirror compositions. Yeah, Ryan Arisa, a Churd swapping to. Okay, no, swaps back. I shouldn't have even commented on it. Symmetra. I'll be interested to see if these Symmetras end up swapping to something else after they TP their teams out of point, though.
Yeah, it's entirely possible, but for now, it's the Spider-Man meme of comps here as they get ready to go. The teleporters do come out. I mean, you could stay on the sim if you wanted to, and they do stay on the sim because now they're fighting on point. Maywall, beams, everything going in. Reinhardt swinging away. And at the end of the day, Geometric goes straight to an unexpected server error, and we're looking at Sanctum.
Wow.
Oh no!
That was like the game hadn't even started yet. That's so dumb.
We won that fight. Oh no! Hackers in the mainframe.
We can do that maybe.
Yeah, probably. We might indeed need to make a new lobby here once that server error gets in. And you know what? Funny enough, it's always Nepal. Something about this map.
I don't know, man. That's so frustrating, though, for that to happen just as soon as it comes in, man. As soon as they start coming in. It might be something with Symmetra. I don't know. She just destroyed the game.
Oh, yeah, all right. It's all Symmetra's fault, isn't it? I'm surprised we're not blaming it on Brigitte.
When in doubt, it's Symmetra's fault. I just realized that if we're making a new lobby, I'm the one who should be making it. So
all right.
I'm gonna make a new lobby. I'll invite you guys in a second.
Should we take a quick break here, Pendy? I'll leave it up to you. Okay, sure. All right, we're gonna swap lobby. We'll stay with you here so we can talk about all 10 seconds.
All 10 seconds that we got, yeah.
I mean, it was exciting. Yeah.
Can we unmute for what? Oh, they're not in game right now, so sure. We are restarting the map anyways, so.
Oh well. I mean, we saw them both coming out on Symmetra right there. I don't think that's anything too surprising. She's kind of been one of the favored choices specifically for that Nepal point. Helps get the team close and does have the damage and turrets to really make a difference there on the point. They are not stratting. They're just playing Kahoot. They want everybody to know that. So it's important to clarify. Unfortunately, server errors are outside of our control, so that is what it is. Literally has happened to me in recent memory on Nepal as well. Exact same point, exact same server error about the exact same time. So I don't know what it is about that map, but
now that it's happened once, I'm gonna be so nervous about it happening again because it just has the potential to screw up so many things for no reason.
Those pesky Omnic monks, man, you can't trust them.
Red Panda, and who's we need Geek Cake in here. Sorry, I'm talking to myself as I'm making sure both teams have their starting lineups in the same spots they were before. So we have Wooly, Rim, Churd, SC Awesome, Tilted Waffle, and we need Flankiana.
Yeah, it looks like as you were saying, just getting the lineup set there. It's great. I love it. I love when just read off the names as if it's like a horse race. I want to see a horse named Rim Jazzberry. Actually, that would be pretty good. We're hopefully going to come back in on the same point in Nepal. Obviously, we can't guarantee that or anything, but it is what it is. Village. I don't think we're going to see any changes. I mean, the gamble always was right that Village would be something you could beat. It was interesting to me actually what they showed, which was an Orisa with the Reinhardt off tank, and that's not something that's super common It was vogue for like a week, and then people kind of went back on it a little bit, and it is an interesting comp indeed. Uh, I kind of like it, if I'm being honest, especially with the recent Reinhardt changes. You don't have an eat, you know, you don't have like the Sigma eat, but you basically just have Reinhardt's meaty body and his extra however many armor they gave him on the last update to take a lot of those blows.
Yeah, so both teams seem to be under a decent amount of pressure as now a bit of a bathroom break has been called before we get back. We try again here. Wooly has said R for him.
It's all breaking down.
It's all breaking down. It's all falling apart.
You know what?
No, it's not. We have things under control. It's on Blizzard to keep things under control with their goddamn servers. Both teams have said R, so we are going to try this again. I'm sorry. We've had so much.
If you're not careful,
we've had so much Blizzard server luck. So bad luck with this. So bad.
If you're not careful, you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night with Jeff Kaplan standing over you. What'd you say about the servers?
Have better servers.
You know, anytime you want to complain about that, just remember there was an entire World Cup qualifier match that ended in the middle of a map because I think somebody unplugged something. So you know, there's a little bit of leeway. if the multi-million-dollar entertainment-driven tournament series struggles, we're allowed to have our occasional server errors down here as well. And we're actually starting here on Sanctum, and it will be the Sigma Ball comp. No surprise there. This is entirely what we expected. And actually very close to a mirror again, just a couple variations there in support and DPS. Titanic favoring the Pharah, actually. Which
I'm interested to see if he stays on that, which he won't.
Nope.
Yeah. Makes a lot more sense to go with the Echo here, and instead of a Tracer and Brig on the side of Wisdom to be a little more brawly, we'll have an Ashe. We'll have Ashe and Mercy, hopefully trying to Mercy boost here. Jazzberry in a bit of an interesting spot. Can he get some boop kills? No, unfortunately,
no.
He saves himself.
But it was great tech from him to get all the way over there where he could actually set up that play. Very impressive indeed. Meanwhile, on the other side's Othcon getting right into the fight. Not really getting a lot of success in that fight. We'll have to roll away on fire, and wow, that was cool. Nice job, Tilted Waffle. You don't see that every day. I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
Tilted Waffle actually.
Yeah, shotgun blast right when he was slamming, right? That's what had to have happened. Correct.
What a play there from Tilted Waffle. Got a solid 3 kills on the cleanup there. Already 60% to his Bob as Geometric have first control of the point, but Rim Jazzberry in a lot of trouble. There he goes.
Yeah, Rim Jazzberry just kind of got caught in a circle of people who wanted him very dead and paid for it with his life. Now on the opposite side, Zorthcon trying to push forward Spongy Cheese on escort duty there. Zorthcon rolls in, gets the slam, discorded. Zorthcon makes their escape. Minimax is able to follow up and get a pick. Here comes Zorthcon again. He gets the Mercy. Oh no, the slow death of a Mercy will be able to float back there, Wooly, and get to flank Yada and keep going here. This Tracer causing absolute havoc in the back line. Zorthcon so close to dying, but it'll be the other ball, Rim Jazzberry, who goes down first, and the point will flip.
Yeah, it feels once again like Geometric are a little bit disorganized here when they want to play these Wrecking Ball comps. They sort of rely more on individual pop-offs instead of being necessarily awesome pulse bomb there from Spongy Cheese, and picks coming in from both sides.
Yeah, just a brutal slugfest here around the doors. Neither side really showing a clear advantage. Geekake overextending, burned down by flank Yada. Rim Jazzberry now trying to get back in on the action. Jazzberry up, Jazzberry down, and they'll roll forward onto the point. Oh, good boop! No, Zorthcon, he did great, and then he didn't do so great. But that's all right.
It looks so good.
It did.
I think what this just proved is that Wrecking Ball just shouldn't be in the game.
Oh wow! Ooh, fighting words.
Both Wrecking Balls died there.
They did. They both did, and it's really chaotic when the Wrecking Ball gets involved, and we're seeing that now because an additional Sigma is being introduced to the field on top of a minefield. On the other side, SD Awesome trying to find somebody to fight. He'll clone a Sigma as well, and they'll start to push forward on their end. The high ground control, that critical high ground on the left-hand side, currently under the control of Wisdom Academy. There comes the Flux, though. That'll force a Transcendence almost immediately from Red Panda, but you feel like it's a little too tranquil and a little too late there because the kills are stacking up in favor of Geometric.
Yeah, Geometric, some great Gravitic Fluxes there from SD Awesome, and sure, managed to have them take control here. Minimax will have his Gravitic Flux. The Flankiata, as always, seems to be ready with the Transcendence every time. Titanic on the Desperation Doomfist here to contest.
Zorthcon rolls in there, just gets that touch, allows them to have a little bit of opportunity. Geekcake is getting pummeled from the side. Gravitic does come out. That'll again get canceled out largely by the Transcendence, so it was a good effort there by Zorthcon to disrupt the Transcendence. Out comes the charge and the punch from Titanic. Titanic gets a pick on Churn. Titanic messes up their tech as they try to get back on, but the point will still flip. Spundy Cheese, the last casualty, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but 2 exit picks on the end of, or 1 exit pick and one self pick there means that Wisdom kind of forced to play defensive. Geekcake is going to use Rally to be more tanky on the point, but Raspberry is there. Oh no!
Oh, I've not seen the pit on Sanctum get this much action in a long time. Everybody's being thrown into that bad boy right now. That'll be Geekcake's. Stings a little bit, I imagine that one, especially with the rally up, and it's SD Awesome cleaning up Minimax on the point. Spongy Cheese coming in with a contest. Zorthcon there to help him out. They're just trying to keep it alive. Zorthcon comes rolling in. What happened there? Churn kind of just rolled off the edge. Oh no, I'm not sure what happened. I don't think Churn even got booped. And they'll actually
Andrin uses the mines when he's the only one alive. You really wanted to save those mines for this last fight here. Now, I mean, Wisdom can just kind of stand off and wait for them to go away. Minimax, however, died and forced onto the Winston here, which could potentially be exploited.
Oh, they're running out of time. Somebody has to get a touch. They'll clone the ball here. Minefield coming out early on. Down goes SD Awesome. SD Awesome can't do anything. Bullied out and destroyed. Now they'll get the touch. Tilted Waffle, an early pick there on Geekcake. Good pick. Wooly getting in as well. Titanic taken out of the action. A Transcendence there. Almost a little bit mistimed. Wasn't able to keep the team up. And actually, Geometric surging back on might just be able to flip this one around.
Yeah, Geometric with a much better plan going into that fight. I think Minimax having to swap onto that Winston was a bit of, well, I mean, he did what he needed to do to get back to point quickly, but it meant that they didn't necessarily have that crucial shield of the Sigma and that those crucial, I mean, his gravity spheres, I think is what they're called. I mean, those things can do quite a bit of damage. Now, we are back again on Village. Please, I'm praying to Lord Jeff. I said some bad things a minute ago, but please let us get through this without any server errors. We have a pause called on the side of Geometric here.
The prodigal son returns to the fold there. Desperate, please. You know, it's actually really interesting. I mean, first of all, that map was just wild, right? I don't think I've seen that many people get environmental killed on Sanctum in a really long time. But you make a really good point. Minimax having to swap there, I think, was a crucial factor. They did it. Honestly, I feel like Wisdom Academy was running on borrowed time the minute they flipped that point. Like, they barely managed to flip it the first time around, and they did good to even push it up to 99%. But yeah, it just wasn't. They just didn't have the options available to make that work.
Yeah, they were just really forced into a tough situation by the scrappiness of Geometric. We're able to just, even if Wisdom were getting we're winning a fight, there were at least a couple of picks that Geometric were able to get, and that really allowed Wisdom to never really find a super sure foothold on that point. Even when they had control for a couple of different fights, it felt close enough that Geometric, it just felt like a matter of time before they finally ended up coming through. And now we are going back into the game here. Village could potentially be seeing Rinjazzberry once again on the Reinhardt, as I commented on the first time. Both teams will be running pretty much the same comps that they did the first time around.
Yes, Jazz Heart. Let's see what they've got here.
Yeah, both teams, however, are sort of took minor different routes to the second point. Here
and
we go.
It all ends up in the same place, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Please just let us get through this. SD Awesome has gone down, and looks like we should be able to complete a fight on Nepal Village. So good first step.
Yeah, good first step indeed, and a good fight there too. Everything kind of going, coming up roses there for the attack from Wisdom Academy, and they'll reset with limbs and team intact.
That ramping damage from Spongy Cheese, absolutely massive there. Churd swaps onto the Sigma now, but Spongy is 85% to his Symmetra ultimate, while SD Awesome only about 35%.
Yeah, now let's rotate around the outside. Good Maywall, actually. That'll catch Minimax out. Great counter Maywall coming in as well. Saves the team. What a shatter, though! Rim Jazzberry might not play Ryan, but he makes the ult count that time. Unfortunately, his team doesn't seem quite able to follow up on it. That Symmetra Beam and the Maywall just combining to create an absolute chamber of death here on the point. Neither side getting too much advantage, but at the end of the day, the defenders here will come out with the win. Churd finally burned down there to signal an end to the push.
Yeah, credit to Rim Jazzberry all the way there. We very much doubted his ability to play Reinhardt. That was a very good shatter. Unfortunately, because of their first fight win, Wisdom Academy more than had the resources than ultimates to sustain and push back against it. Now, many ultimates on the board for both sides here. Very interested to see how this one plays out.
There's the Sim wall coming in, the May wall going up, walls everywhere, and a window as well, building a whole house here around the Nepal Village point. They're really blowing it out as this blizzard comes in. There's at least one body all stuck in that. It'll be the Lucio of Wooly who will go down. And again, the kill feed lining up red, this kind of extermination fights that we saw when they played their first control point.
Yeah, it's this fight is like May's playground. It's so these walls are so expertly, so well spaced out for May's walls to cut off the teams, and the point is like perfectly spaced out so that May's Blizzard takes out all of it. Now with the Blizzard from Titanic, though, I mean, it's a 4v6, but they have managed to get their feet on the point.
It's a good Maywall there. Actually, the Blizzard didn't have enough follow-up to it. They had Minimax completely dead to rights as the rest of the team rotated away from him, couldn't make him stick. And now Spongy Cheese with the microwave gun comes surging forward. Spongy Cheese dies as soon as I say their name, as is tradition. The fight's still boiling here. The beat coming in at an absolutely crucial second to keep this dream alive. Rim Jazzberry is back on the ball. Rim Jazzberry gets a pick. They might be able to turn this around. Oh no, SD Awesome dies early on. Zorthcon, the rock upon which this team is building right now. Rim Jazzberry frozen. Rim Jazzberry will not go down, but the blizzard coming out there from Titanic should seal the doom of any members of the team still here. I say that though. Churd got frozen. Tilted Waffle avoided it, and Tilted Waffle is trying to turn this one around. Tilted Waffle there. Oh, just making it stick here, trying to get some kills. The rest of his team is dying. Tilted Waffle can't find anyone to get. The wall comes in. It's probably enough for them to hold on. Rim Jazzberry, the last second contest, trying to make it work. And you see a brave effort by Flankyata there. It's not enough. And they'll tie going into stage 3.
Okay, so, I mean, but to be fair, okay, now we have a pause request coming out from Wisdom Academy, which means now I have to pull up a second 5-minute timer to get their pause time for this map. Thanks, guys. You're making my job very easy here. Okay. So pause comes out, okay, 5 minutes counting. But what I wanted to say was that Wisdom, so far this map has gone about as well as you would think it would, right? About as you would think it would. Sanctum, a very sort of Wrecking Ball and Sigma favored map. Wisdom, Geometric came out on top there. And then on the second map, the Village, where Reinhardt, May, Brawl is very prominent. That is where we saw Wisdom Academy excelling. So it's going to come down to Shrine, where really both of those cons could potentially be run to decide this pivotal map of Nepal.
Very fair point indeed. And the thing about Shrine is it's definitely going into ball, right? Like this is a very good ball point, lots of open space. There's even a thing that you can hook onto in the middle of the point and spin around. Like the map is made for him to do some great work. Whether or not, I mean, at the end of the day, though, is Rim Jazzberry's ball better? That's the question we're gonna have to look at. Is Rim Jazzberry's ball better? And I don't know. I don't know. That was an interesting map to be sure. There, I feel like this one is gonna go the way of Sanctum though. The first stage we saw. That's just my gut instinct.
Well, we will see absolutely as we head into Shrine now, as we can see, both teams swapping onto their comfort picks. This is going to be, I'm super excited now. This is going to be a true clash of styles here, as we have Wisdom Academy running the brawl, and Geometric running the poke. Oh, this is going to be so fun to watch how these two styles end up fighting together.
Yeah, Spongy Cheese actually coming out on that Symmetra. I'll be interested to see whether they switch or they stick with it. They will switch over to a Reaper here. So yeah, the full Shadow Brawl coming in. Already touching the point right now and already establishing a position as the Awesome. They're trying to play the flank. Good roll in from Rim Jazzberry, but Rim Jazzberry gets a little stuck there for half a second. A moment of terror, but nothing too bad there. Minimax, though, getting the early kills. Minimax gets 2 with the Reinhardt. And Spongy Cheese is there to finish up, so the brawl wins out. Awesome can't do anything but sort of float away on the outside edge.
And these kinds of plays are when Wisdom look arguably the cleanest that they have ever looked. Is when they can identify who they can press W on, and they just go. And they just go in as a full 6 and just burst that player down. And that's why it's so difficult to play a sort of split setup into Wisdom Academy, because they'll just identify someone to burst down and they do it. As we can see, Rin swapping onto the Orisa, so now it's sort of a very true double shield coming out from Geometric.
Tilted has a good angle here, though, as the Awesome attack drops in front of Minimax like some sort of early Christmas present. The Reinhardt just knocks him down. Nothing to be done there. An Immortality Field was invested by Flankiata as well, and it goes almost immediately away. And now just a battle of rotates here. Rim Jazzberry considering that suicidal plunge and will take the drop. Sets up there. The rest of the team rotates around him, but Churn is slow to get to the point. It might be a little too late there for the Sigma. No, he'll get on. Red Panda, though, has that coalescence. The rest of the squad, they're collapsing on that defensive line, and there's nothing Rim Jazzberry can do but die in the face of such aggression.
Yeah, a very interesting choice from Geometric to try and contest the point again, instead of maybe going back for a full reset. They do not have Churd, and crucially, as this is probably going to be last fight here if Wisdom ends up winning it, crucially, we will have they only use Coalescence to win that fight, which means they will potentially have every other ultimate. When a couple swaps in Geometric, I'm sure they will not have the same. That's a 6-man EMP.
And what a follow-up by the squad. Oh, the aggression coming out from Wisdom Academy. What are you supposed to do? To quote Theoden, what can men do against such reckless hate? And there comes a bomb onto the point as well. And speaking of reckless hate, that Omnic is dead and gone in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ren messes up his rollout a little bit. Couldn't get into the window like he wanted, and that solidifies Wisdom after losing 2 maps in a row there, looking a little iffy. Very, very strong performances coming out from them. They are now up 3-2 in the series and are now on match point.
Match point, league point, as you said, right? It's all the marbles now, and Geometric, who have played so well all season, their backs are literally to the wall here as we get ready for our next map. Spongy Cheese with a 77% kill participation, primarily on, I think that was a lot of Symmetra action, and some great Reaper play as well. And it'll be a hybrid map.
We move on to map 6. It is going, of course, to make sure that everyone in chat understands how this works. We are going to a hybrid map because the order will just continue to cycle through. Okay, this is a very interesting play coming in. We'll talk about that in a second. Of course, if Wisdom wins King's Row, then that's it. They win League Zero, and we finish right there. If Geometric, however, can win, we will be forced into a 3-3 tiebreaker map, which will, as it has been all season, be Busan. And of course, the map pick has come in from Geometric. They have chosen King's Row, and Prince Zexu is getting back in.
Oh, what a place to decide it all. And Zexu being taken in on the bench as well. It's panic on the streets of London. A brawl on King's Row, I think. It's either end the night or perpetuate it over to Busan. It's going to be a heck of a map. You can feel the energy there from Geometric.
Oh, okay. He's going to need a minute. That's fine. I forgot to start my timer, so I'm going to say we have 4 minutes left. Oops. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Really good intuition on my part, I guess. Dang.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, you got tomorrow. You got the lottery numbers. Actually, are they even doing lottery right now? I don't.
I'd imagine they are. Anyway, they can think to make money, they'll probably do it.
Oh man. King's Row, Zexu in. So I think we can assume, well, I mean, I think we can assume we're going to see a Reinhardt-based composition, maybe the Orisa, but almost, I'd be so surprised if they didn't come out with a Reinhardt on the attack.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you expect when you see Prince Zexu coming in. It's gonna be very much a brawl off, which is what we expect when we see King's Row come into the mix. I mean, this is just if this is how the series ends, what a map to end it on. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, the absolute classic, the fan favorite, arguably probably the most popular map in all of Overwatch, King's Row. Could not pick a better place for it, and a map that lends itself very well to a knockdown, drag 'em out, last man standing style sort of play. And I expect that is what we will see.
Yep. So, I mean, every map, it feels like I'm saying this, but this is almost as critical as it gets. The only way it gets more critical is if we go to a map 7. But Wisdom Academy looking to end it right here, right now. Geometric needs this to stay alive and take us to a sudden death tiebreaker. I mean, this is a series that is absolutely going down to the wire, which I think is what we expected and what we love to see for a grand finals matchup.
Yeah, Minimax and Zexu probably revving up their hammers right now, their rocket hammers, and getting ready to go. I think something that will be really interesting here, though, is whether we continue to see the prevalence of Echo, right? King's Row is a map that does have advantage for flyers if they choose to use it, but as you get toward the end, it becomes less and less viable to get value out of an Echo, out of a Pharah, what have you. And of course, both sides have demonstrated pretty good hit scan play as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so difficult to pick a favorite here. I mean, Prince Zexu obviously had such a big performance on Anubis, but King's Row is another beast entirely. Wisdom Academy, I mean, this map arguably plays to their biggest strengths. We've seen this entire series, they love running these brawl comps and have looked incredibly clean on it. So I think it's just going to come down to which team comes up clutch in those crucial moments and which team is able to keep composure in these tough brawl fights.
Yeah, I mean, Geometric picked it, right? So they must have some level of belief.
Oh, for sure. At least more than Hollywood, because that was their only other option.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they picked King's Row, if I'm being honest, because it's just a more entertaining map, in my opinion. So there must be a level of belief that this is good for them. Wisdom Academy is up and ready. As was noted, Expert Grand Finals have just gone live over on League Zero Overwatch 2, League Zero W2. Go watch it if you want. But you might want to watch the end of this, because this has been a barn burner of a matchup. It could very easily go to map 7. No doubt
It
about
could
it.
very easily do so. Now, entering King's Row as the I believe that's Athena, as Athena says. Here we go now into the classic. I mean, I'm just getting more excited as the series goes on, Korvek.
Yeah, me too. It's been great so far. It promises to continue to be great. I'm really hoping for a hyper aggro Rhine fight here. That shadow dive versus Zexu's power, and not exactly what I was expecting, but I'll take it. I mean, this is going to be interesting. Both or Zorthcon coming out on the Zarya, Churd will stick with the Sigma, and then a really different choice of DPS.
Yeah, SD Awesome is going to be. Oh well, potential that he might be just going for a Sonic Arrow here, and then he'll swap onto something else. Which is something that we don't see teams doing as much anymore. But I think a fairly smart play as we see him kind of at the top right now. But I mean, we are seeing the Rhine 1v1 that we wanted, and Titanic on his pocket Junkrat's going to be very difficult to deal with here. So congratulations, Sonic Arrow revealed that they do in fact have a Rhine on the side of Wisdom.
There's an enemy team over there. We know that now. A normal shopping trip to King's Row now turned into a fight for their very lives with the back of that Sonic Arrow. They'll come forward, and Zexu eliminated, annihilated, wiped out of the pages of history there on that early pick, and they'll try and clean up the rest of it too. And that was a bit of an ugly series of engagements there. Neither side quite ready to surrender just yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, Spongy's getting tilted there. I think it's probably going to be Geometric pushing back here. Big flashbangs from both McCrees here. We can see both of them already very much creeping on their high noons right now. And that spam damage from Titanic, as I mentioned at the beginning, has been absolutely huge so far in this first fight of the series. As now the fight takes place in Hotel.
Well, they'll charge into the lobby of the Alderworth, and they're immediately met at the door by the world's scariest bouncer. An angry German man with a giant hammer, and he'll get one. That being said, Red Panda caught on the flank and brought down. SD Awesome, though, pays for that bit of excitement with their life. Now Zorthcon and Minimax surge forward here. They do only have the Lucio for healing, so they have to play this a little bit cautiously, and I think actually Zexu and Churd are playing off of that. Minimax is capped by Tilted Waffle, and that, I think, could end this first point defense.
I think Wisdom are motioning as if they want to try and make a point for a recontest here, and that is what they will do. Titanic has the tire, looking for Zexu, but Blankiata takes it down.
Blizzard is invested here. Tilted Waffle trying to catch someone in it. Titanic drops in, gets Churd in the trap, and they'll invest the sound barrier here. They're fighting for this with every inch of their lives. Zexu is charged, smashed into a wall. Still, the majority of the body's on point. It's favoring Geometric. Geometric pushing forward. Minimax can't do anything, can only go down. And finally, the point will flip, and Red Panda dying there. That is bad. That's actually not good.
Churd ate Zorthcon's grab as Sigma, which is so difficult to do considering this cooldown on that kinetic grasp of his. That not having that, nullifying that grab on Surge could have very well been the turning point in that fight for Geometric.
Yeah, it'll take them a while to get all their respawns back here too, and they'll allow a lot of cart push here, and actually they'll push right up past the corner of the bookstore, but Minimax drops it up the high ground. The shatter was thrown in by Zexu kind of unnecessarily. The immortality field comes out, but it's Titanic with a big tire to bust things open and allow the defenders to reassert themselves, and a moment of near disaster turned into a moment of elated victory on the back of Titanic's play.
I thought for sure that Minimax was dead to rights there as he dropped down, and then a perfectly timed wall from Tilted Waffle cut him off from the rest of his team. However, Red Panda managed to sneak the immortality field through, and they ended up, and then, oh my gosh, we're going to the next fight, so I have to stop talking now.
Churd picks him up, throws him back down. The sound barrier does come out there by Geekake to try and escort the team through the majority of that damage fight, but Awesome unleashing a point-blank high noon, and the kills all stacking up on the other side of Geometric, who will surge forward. It's blood on the streets, and Geometric are left standing.
Yeah, a fairly expensive fight there from Geometric, but it did, of course, force out, I think, both support ultimates from Wisdom Academy, so very much worth it. Couple of changes coming out from Wisdom. Um, both sides will have Shatter going on this fight, so this fight between Prince Zexu and Minimax to see which Rhine has better Shatter will be big going into this fight, but Zexu's walled off and he's down.
No! Zexu, the hero of the team, caught and destroyed right there. It's a really good Blizzard. Slows the roll up the press. Minimax throws in that Shatter, but is the follow-up there? Geekegg surges forward, but can't really secure a pick alone. Now a little bit of a split coming in here. That's another good Maywall out. This is really boiling around, though. You begin to feel like Minimax are out of their depth, and sure enough, the Rhine will go down. Titanic there on the May, can't stall them out, and they're through to the third point with 3 minutes, 20 seconds of the time bank.
That was some really nice focus fire there from Geometric. Losing your Rhine so early into the fight can be devastating, especially for a team of this skill level. However, the Blizzard was incredible from Tilted Waffle, and the team's focus fire going on to the rest of the fight allowed them to pull out ahead.
Well, here comes Minimax. Zexu does have the Shatter. Zexu grabbed Immortality Field, keeps Zexu alive. They'll throw in the beat as well. Oh, a miscommunication there. The Shatter came out while everyone was in the air, and Zexu looked back over his shoulder there and chirred as if to say, why? Oh, they'll continue to push forward here, though, and it's absolute chaos on the side of Wisdom Academy, trying to regroup with Minimax and their Reinhardt. A High Noon is coming out from somewhere. They will not get anything off of it, but Awesome will get in and get a pick. Geekegg sends Wooly off the edge of the map, and it's a good freeze there, and that should allow them to at least get churned. Even as I say that, though, they're not able to follow up on the kill. Zexu will not stop swinging. Zexu still going, holding this point down like he owns it. Trying to get Red Panda out of the fight. There goes Panda. Just a ball left to stall.
Get Zorthcon.
Oh, no! Wooly nearly got taken off the edge of the map. Comes back in. They're still going here, dividing.
Again, like we saw in Eichenwald, it's the ultimate stall off. Geometric just couldn't finish off Zorthcon when they really needed to, and because of that, they're gonna end up being pushed back with 0.05 meters left until completion.
Oh, so close, 0.05. Good lord.
That's gonna hurt. And you know what? You would have loved there. You would have loved there in that situation. You would have loved to have that Shatter from Prince Zexu.
You would have. Zexu has it now, though, and he's gonna try and make it stick here. High Noon coming out from Spongy Cheese, elevated on the main wall, gets Wooly looking on the rock ride and brings him down. And there comes the rest of the squad.
That was a really fun play there from Wisdom, especially since they needed to get value out of that High Noon there, because that was basically all they had. Now that they have won that fight quickly, it's given Red Panda and Geekegg time to bring up their own ultimates, which they are going to need badly. Every single ultimate, except maybe Wooly's Beat, will be available for Geometric here.
Oh, there comes the Flux. There goes the Flux down on the other end. Awesome combines to get a kill on Spongy Cheese, and now momentum shifts decisively in favor of Geometric. The kill feed lights up red, and they'll push this cart forward, and we'll be back to stall territory.
Yeah, in good Blizzard, unfortunately guessed wrong as to which side most of Wisdom Academy would be going to. Here comes a beat from Geekegg, though. It's going to allow the team a little bit more... Oh, and a nice boot from Geekegg. Takes down Tilted Waffle. Now no more freeze. Now we're back in a little bit of a stall up here as the Blizzard comes out.
Blizzard just clearing an area around the point, but time is running out. Wooly will get annihilated right there. They'll continue this fight. Oh, Churd gets a mighty blow there. They're still going. Awesome tries to get the High Noon off. Gets one pick. Zorthcon, Spongy Cheese still fighting. What a charge by Minimax to take Zexu out of it. They might just hold a desperate last-minute touch. Not enough, and that will be the end of overtime. And a big pickup there on the defense stops them from getting that third point.
That is absolutely crucial. On two separate occasions, I thought for sure Geometric was going to be able to push this cart through to the end, but Wisdom, with some excellent staggering and some key ultimates coming online at just the right times, manages to keep King's Row from getting fully capped, which means we are in a very crucial situation. 2 points and 70.21 meters. If Wisdom can beat that, we have our League Zero champions. If Geometric can stop them, we're going to Busan.
Oh, pressure, huh?
Pressure, just a little bit.
They're so thick you can cut it with a knife. As we get ready to get started here, or smash it with the Reinhardt amp is more apt. You know, I hate to say it, but Zexu was struggling on a lot of that. A lot of that attack was really kind of getting caught out in that frontline position and just getting annihilated from pretty much the start.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the sorry, I'm inviting someone back into the lobby who got DC'd. A lot of the game plan from Wisdom there was definitely to make sure Zexu had a very bad time. Basically, is what I'm trying to say, and they really did a pretty good job with that.
They sure did, and we'll see what they can get off with this Shadow Brawl here. Already a very aggressive push coming out again. This has been Wisdom's Academy style all night long, surging forward into the front line. Zexu can do nothing but give them space here. They're just waiting for the opportunity to turn it around, and that might be the opportunity. It's a good Maywall in. They can't finish off Spongy Cheese, which was the intended target. Cheese, flashbang, will finally get brought down, but from no effort, or no lack of effort from Minimax there to try and save their DPS. Minimax, unfortunately, also gets brought down. That's the Awesome here, the one who's doing the majority of the killing here, as Zorthcon is taken out of the mech and a little bit of stagger on the Diva. And you see Titanic, they're waiting and watching, though. They're nearly at that EMP.
Yeah, that EMP, which has been so massive for Wisdom Academy at points in this series, is nearly online. It will be online at some point this fight. Wooly, though, has done just about as good a job building up his beat. It's going to be crucial to see if he can get out. But now, oh no, Prince Zexu goes in a little bit too hard, gets taken for a ride, and swaps back and forth.
Churn is here though. What a shatter from Minimax, cancels out the high noon, and the rest of the team will just follow him in. Wow. And just a minute of staggering force right there from the main tank, and the entire defense collapses like a house of cards, despite the best effort of Churd.
Yeah, Churd really tried his best, but I mean, Prince Zexu, with a little bit of an ill-advised charge in, thought maybe he could find Minimax, but unfortunately got taken down, and then with no Rhine Shield to block you, Minimax pretty much had a free shatter as soon as he had a look at most of Geometric's team.
Churd has an ult. Zexu has an ult. They've got the ability to stop this push before it gains too much momentum. Maywall in gives Zexu the ability to push up. He shatters. He really only gets one with it. The follow-up is there in the form of the Blizzard. Zorthcon loses the mech right away. Baby Diva, in the midst of everything, will be killed. Spongy Cheese tries to push forward, but just can't with the amount of damage that's there.
Yeah, I mean, Zexu maybe only had gotten one, but the fact that it was the Diva was massive because she had no opportunity to eat Tilted Waffle's Blizzard. However, not too much trouble. They're going to push right back in.
Oh, mighty EMP, and Spongy Cheese to follow it up. The sound barrier from Wooly did get off, but it was far too late. The Reaper, Spongy Cheese, clears the deck, cleans them up, and escorts them through to the second half of the Streets phase.
Yeah, this is all of a sudden looking a little grim for Geometric. They will not have as many ults as they would like, pushing into both tank ults and both support ults from Wisdom Academy. However, they're going to push in aggressively with the Gravitic Flux.
That pumps a Coalescence out the backside. They'll try and go forward here. Oh, what's that Diva Bomb placement? Zorthcon gets two. Zexu now in serious trouble, and Minimax unleashes the hammer. Clears the point. Oh, and Geometric is getting bent out of shape here as they begin to just backpedal into this 3rd-point defense.
Now it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. These 4 minutes and 30 seconds could very well decide the fate of these finals. It looked so good for Geometric. I thought with the shadow from Zexu, they were turning it around, but Zorthcon's Diva Bomb was so well placed, and the shield just weren't there for Geometric.
Oh, and you can see that pressure coming in. The Immortality Field used early, but Spongy Cheese going down. Minimax following them. They might be able to stabilize here. SD Awesome's just going in. full sending it into the back line, and Zorthcon tries to jump off the edge of the map, and they won't even give him that. Geometric, well, they might not be getting beat, they might just be getting mad.
Yeah, I mean, famously, Geometric had to hold Kings Row Point C in last season's semifinals for like 5 minutes or something, and they ended up doing it in order to win a map against One Trick Wonders. This could be a freaking shatter from Zexu.
But it avails him nothing. No, SD Awesome in the back line with the big Death Blossom to make sure that the tanks Shatter and Death were not in vain. That nearly had the shades of disaster there.
Geometric, they still doing a very good job of making sure their ults are rotated around. They will still have 4 ultimates coming into this fight, but key for Wisdom Academy, Titanic has been holding on to his EMP for a minute now. There's no way they don't know that it's happening.
Here it comes. 1, 2. No, still holding off. What are you waiting for? There it is. 5-man. The Shatter in. Oh, great sound barrier from Wooly. It's in time now. But Zexu escorted off the edge of the map. The window comes down to try and slow the roll. Another Diva Bomb up and over. Zorthcon with 2. Spongy Cheese with 2 as well. The defense is broken open. It's not your grandfather's tangrams anymore, Geometric. And here comes the team trying to kill this dead.
Is this the end of League Zero Novice? Churda has the Gravitic Flux. Geometric needs to touch 2.89 meters now, and now the picks are coming in once again for Geometric thanks to the Blizzard from Tilted Waffle.
Oh, talk about it hold by the absolute tips of their fingernails right there. 2.89 meters.
Yeah, but 2 minutes left on the clock. Titanic already halfway to another EMP. Wooly lagging behind a little bit on his own beat generation. So, yeah, this is going to be tough still for Geometric. Still very much an uphill battle, even as it's a second slip away.
Zexu desperately holding the front line position. You can feel it in the air. This Coalescence comes out. Minimax shattered. The Coalescence ended. Zexu in and swinging like a fox in a henhouse right there. Just shutting everything down. But Titanic, that number just keeps ticking up, dividing, and that's the number to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Wooly now, thanks to that fight, is now outpacing Titanic. So the beat will be there for the eventual EMP, but it's still such a massive ultimate regardless. I will say though, credit where Zoo, that fight was very much a Rhine diff. Zexu just beat Mini in the 1v1, knocked him down on his back.
They've got some ults to play with. They're going to use the Blizzard early on. It's a very good Blizzard indeed. That's going to force the sound barrier. Down comes Awesome with the Death Blossom. Awesome, though, won't find the kills. It's a good eat there by Zorthcon. That's going to give Zexu the opportunity to push up. There's the EMP. They barely even needed it. They got 3 with it. The defenders were already scattered and broken. Now they'll push forward, and again, we're going to get into the desperate stall game here as bodies start to stack up from Wisdom Academy.
If Geometric can touch, they will have the ultimates to potentially turn this around once again. The beat comes out from Wooly, and the Blossom from Spongy has been canceled. Now the whip from Sherd has found Spongy Cheese, but Zorthcon trades it back.
They just keep trading kills, but the majority of the bodies here are Geometric. 15 seconds left on the clock. 10 seconds left on the clock. Titanic taken out, and it might just be a hold. Geometrics might actually win this one through. I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch.
Minimax has to get there, and he can't. It's a map 7.
Wow, what a hold by Geometric. Spectacular stuff. When everything looked like it was going to end in tragedy for him right there, they'll force us on to Busan.
Oh my goodness, as I said at the very beginning, if any final map is going to go to a map 7, it is this one. Beautiful tire there from Titanic. Definitely lots of good stuff coming out from Wisdom Academy. However, I mean, Geometric. I mean, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to give you a little bit of a League Zero history lesson. Last season's semifinals, it was Geometric versus One Trick Wonders. Famously, we had a server error in the middle of the fight, in the middle of King's Row, and we decided that because Oh, whoops! I clicked restart match instead of back to lobby. Oops.
Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again. That was such a good map. It was such a good map.
Do it again.
Sorry. I'll get back to the Busan to decide it. You have up to 10 minutes. And I'm going to start that timer now. But we decided that since One Trick Wonders capped point B at with like 5 minutes on the clock, that's what would end up deciding the game. Geometric basically had to hold that point for 5 minutes or they would lose that map. And they famously held on for 5 whole minutes in order to win that map and end up going to the finals. Today, we saw almost the exact same thing as with some cross point C with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, and Geometric barely managing to hold on and bring us to Busan, where fates will truly, truly be decided. But with that in mind, I mean, anything left to say before we go to a quick break before this final map?
It was a spectacular Kings Row map. It's 3-3. It's hyped. Busan is going to be an amazing map. Like, do not go anywhere. Do not turn away. Stick with us here. This is going to be something spectacular.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My dearest apologies to Ridkos, our highlights editor, but we are going to map 7 to decide the League Zero Novice Division champions between Wisdom Academy and Geometric.
Yeah, and it has been a howler, a screamer of a matchup between these two. Tied 3-3. Wisdom Academy, major plays, hyper aggression. Geometric has Zexu come back in. 2 different maps kind of pull the team together, push them forward. But I mean, I say that, but it's been amazing play from all of them individually. Flank Yada had 77% kill participation with defensive assists on the last map, Kings Row. It's been absolutely spectacular between these two teams, and Busan promises to be nothing less than one of the most exciting maps in League Zero history. Like, if we're being honest,
this could be incredible as we decide who. I mean, this is every map. I say this is crucial, but I mean, this is the epitome of crucial, right?
There is no more crucial map. Yeah,
this is the most crucial map. But I will say, Busan has been the tiebreaker map for us all season long. Both teams very familiar with this map. I want to say, going into this, Pendy can tell me if I'm wrong because he has access to the streaming package, but I believe Wisdom has won both other control maps in the series so far, which was it was Ilios and Nepal, which they did win both of those maps. However, last time Geometric and Wisdom Academy faced off in week 8 of the regular season, they did end up going to Busan, and that time it did end up going to Geometric. So the control advantage going to Wisdom, but potentially the Busan advantage between these teams going to Geo.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. Like, Wisdom Academy has won all the Koth maps. It's not been necessarily close in those wins. They've all been it's not necessarily been wide open in those either. They've been very close wins, but Wisdom Academy has come out on top. Going in here to Busan, it has everything in line with the other control maps. 3 very different stages with very different manners of play. At the end of the day, though, I really do think Wisdom Academy's comfort with the Sigma ball composition might be enough to push them over the line in this meta.
Yeah, it does feel like if Geometric is going to keep in Prince Zexu for this map, which is what they are currently showing, they could potentially brawl on the level of Wisdom here. However, this does sort of limit them a little bit more to double shield and Rhine brawl comps instead of the Sigma ball that they really wanted. Both teams have indicated that we are ready. Korbeck, it's time to decide the winners of League Zero Novice Division. Here we go.
Sure is. It sure is dividing, and it's going to be one heck of a match. Thank you all for joining us as we get ready to get started here. And it looks like downtown will be the place in which the clash will begin. So not the infamous Mecha base, which might actually have both these teams breathing a bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, this is a much more scrappy sort of map. Yeah, sorry. Much more scrappy map. You see the Wrecking Ball Sigma coming in for Wisdom, which tends to be sort of what's played more often here. However, Geometric showing a Rhine Sigma. Prince Zexu apparently not very comfortable on that Wrecking Ball, obviously. So hopefully this will end up moving well for them, as Titanic has the Pharah, and there's really nothing that Geometric has to counter it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is how it should end here on the control map under the watchful eyes of looming divas on both sides of the map. Those billboards. Oh, here's the fight already. Zorthicon getting up, but it's Titanic getting tilted waffle early on. That's a huge pick. The May out of action. The ball counter gone as well. Zorthicon manages to roll out of there. Could have been bad for about a half a second. Flank Yada's immortality field already expended here. Flank Yada himself expended too. Woolly's down. They're just getting picked apart. Oh no, surrounded and cut to pieces. The only kill there is Red Panda, who will be rezzed back in.
Yeah, I mean, that was really just comp diff there from Wisdom, Titanic was just allowed to pump in damage for free because there was nothing that Geometric had to counter him. Now the swaps come through, Tilted Waffle on the McCree, SD Awesome on the Echo, both of which have the potential to deal with this Pharah.
Drops in on there. Zorthcon drops in on the back line, gets a good slam. They don't actually manage to take him out of the action, though. He'll roll back around. And this is a weird fight right now. They're really trying to pressure out Red Panda. They will get him. Spongy Cheese drops in there as well. In comes the Gravitic. Wooly obviously doesn't have anything for that just yet. And what an ugly scrap over here in the alleyway as Titanic unleashes the barrage and picks up 2. And that's Flankyata and Wooly completely out of it as Titanic will add another notch to the gun there. Tilted Waffle, though, trying to surge this one back on point. The rotate coming through. Zorthcon goes down. And despite all that effort coming out from Titanic, will they retake? They most certainly will not, because Red Panda and Spongy Cheese, the cavalry's here, love, right when they need it.
Titanic absolutely carrying that fight for Wisdom Academy with a big barrage and big picks afterwards. Tilted Waffle and SD Awesome are coming up onto their ultimates now, but with Prince Zexu swapping to the Winston, interestingly, that resets his ultimate charge, and it's with so many ults on the side of Wisdom Academy, this side might just be a wash.
Oh no, Awesome down early. The Immortality Field not able to save the Echo there. Churd does have the Flux, but Churd will die early on. They're past the 85% marker now as Wooly gets turned into paste there on the edge of the map, and Zexu gets rolled up as well. Now it's going to be desperation time to see if somebody can touch.
Tilted gets a pick onto Red Panda, but he will go down himself. I mean, there's a couple picks coming through for Geometric, and here's the beat from Wooly. Not necessarily over, but it's looking very bad as both support ultimates come in for Wisdom.
The clone coming out from Awesome now. Awesome, yeah, should be able to make something work here. Awesome gets 2, actually. The Flux comes in, brings that ball up, smacks him back down, and Zorthcon will go the way of the Dodo, and they will re-secure this point with some ults to spare. Nice job,
Okay.
Tilted.
Yeah, nicely done there from Tilted. Okay, not quite over yet. Now that Geometric has found the point, this comp makes it a lot easier for them to defend it. However, they will be running into the barrage from Titanic that was so pivotal for them a couple fights ago, as well as the pulse bomb from Spongy Cheese, which I must say, I believe he used in the last fight and then built back up really quick. So, really good start for them.
Oh no, Zorthcon goes down, Spongy Cheese with 2! Titanic getting in on the action as well! Titanic picks up another one! Titanic dies, but what a series of picks there! Zorthcon slams down on the point and begins the retake. Zexu tries to come back in, but he just can't make it. Plucked out of midair is the Winston. Awesome now drifts in, won't touch! Body blocked by Minimax, and stage number 1 goes the way of Wisdom Academy.
Okay. That round went about as you would expect it to go. What's the second round going to be? It is mecha based, so this will now play into Geometric's hands and what they're more comfortable with, especially with Prince Zexu in. This is kind of why you want Prince Zexu in on this map, because Ryan is just so good on mecha base. Once again, Geometric with their backs against the wall, and Wisdom needing just one more round to take home the League Zero crowns.
And here we are on Mecha Base, the accursed Mecha Base, the Dark Tower of the Busan map. Minimax there leading the charge for his team. Zexu on the other side. They're going to actually counter-rotate the two of them. And a clash around the elevator. There's a good hack there coming in early on. Tilted Waffle will survive that, though. Minimax loses about half their health. Titanic dies first. Awesome finds that pick, and that's going to breathe some life into the side of Geometric. They're surging forward. The wall comes up, doesn't get the split, but Red Panda in serious danger. The Moira has to use the Fade to just get out. Zorthcon loses their mech in this as well. Somehow Baby Diva's still alive, but Minimax and Geekake and Zorthcon, oh my, they'll take that point.
Yeah, when it comes to these brawl mirrors that these teams like to play on Mecha Base and on King's Row a minute ago, we often see Titanic on the Sombra, while Tilted Waffle, his counterpart, goes for the Mei. And while Sombra might be better if you're playing peak Overwatch, Titanic in this match has tended to struggle a little bit, getting caught out a lot, which has allowed the May pick to be a lot more effective, I think.
Wisdom holds the point. It's a good hack on Zexu. Zexu's getting absolutely burned. The Immortality Field, the Shatter from Minimax, though, allows them to take out the Reinhardt. They invested a lot to get Zexu out of that action, and now Churd and Tilted Waffle are making him pay for it. Good Blizzard coming out there, taking out Spongy Cheese, and it'll actually get Minimax out as well.
Dang. Geometric managed to hold on just barely. You saw that little sliver of capture progress that Wisdom Academy still needed. And they did it pretty much on the back of the Blizzard alone, which is huge because now both tank ultimates are coming out, and Wooly will once again, most likely, have the beat in response to Titanic's incoming EMP.
When is Titanic going to use it, though? Titanic playing a very dangerous game. Big EMP gets 5. The follow-up is there from the Coalescence. What an Immortality Field. Manages to keep him alive for a half second. SD Awesome comes in. I don't know what happened to him because the full Death Blossom doesn't go off, but it's Red Panda, the Moira player there, sweeping that beam across the enemy team and getting some big picks. And now the fight boils down onto the point. Church smacked into the dirt with a little bit of help from Titanic right there. Flankyata tries to keep it alive, but it's ultimately meaningless. But it's 90% on the clock.
Yeah, 90%. Oh, okay. They did not finish. They did not finish capping that point, which got another 2 or so percent to Geometric's side. Great job from Wisdom setting the tempo themselves, and that's where they thrive. Titanic used the EMP soon enough that Wooly actually didn't have the beat yet, so he was not able to respond.
Flux comes out, Bomb comes in, they'll throw in the Death Blossom as well, but those ults are under-delivering. Minimax invest their Shatter into this as well. The window comes out, but they're already past it, through it. Just trying to clean up kills in front of the spawn door. SD Awesome trying to make an impact, actually takes 2 out, and it's a good Maywall here. It's allowing them to turn this fight around. Now Spongy Cheese barely avoids getting smashed into the wall as Zortkon there is in deep trouble. They'll all roll back here. Zortkon still loses the match. Oh no! They invested so much into this fight and it's turned into an absolute disastrous retreat.
Yeah, now the question is Wooly going to use his beat aggressively, or will it instead be used against the EMP? It is used aggressively to try and save Prince Zexu, but he's too late.
Oh, big EMP from Titanic over the top. Zexu's already dead. Churd goes down as well. And in a really strange extended fight, it will ultimately be the folks from Wisdom Academy who will manage to hold on.
This is most likely going to be the final fight of Mecha Base. Geometric need to win this to stay alive and keep their League Zero championship hopes alive. They do have plenty of ults to do it with. They have everything except for Gravitic Flux and Beat. However, they will be playing into a Shatter from Minimax and the Death Blossom. If Prince Zexu gets caught out here, it could be over.
Oh, Spongy Cheese comes into the backline. Flankyata taken out early on. The Blizzard comes in. They can't follow it up. Awesome tries to get some value. Only gets Zortkon. There's dead bodies all over the field, and none of them are Wisdom Academy, who will take the win.
Wisdom Academy fought so hard throughout that map. A beautiful flank plays coming out from both Spongy Cheese and and Minimax. They're using their ultimates to pick off players in a fight where they really should not have been able to win if you were just looking at the ults going into it. Beautiful play from Wisdom Academy, calculated play, what they're known for, and in the end, they will get their revenge from last season and take home the League Zero championships.
They will indeed, and what a series, what a match, going all the way down to the wire there. It's a shame we didn't actually get to see that third stage, but it was a heck of a Mecha Base to finish it all off, and what a game. Both teams should be very proud of the performance they put on tonight, repping the Novice division very well and providing us with some genuinely exciting and entertaining Overwatch. Thank you so much to both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. This was an incredible game to cap off the League Zero Novice season between two teams that honestly should be incredibly proud of all of the progress that they made today. or not just today, throughout the entire season as League Zero teams. You could tell that both teams were playing with just so much heart throughout the entire series. It was really, really cool to watch these players really put everything they have into this. And even though Geometric came up short, they should not be upset at what they accomplished together.
No, they definitely shouldn't. Geometric left everything they had out on the field. They played so spectacularly today. And I mean, we're talking razor thin margins there at the end, too, with Wisdom Academy pulling off that win. But they are ultimately the champions here, taking the series 4-3 at the final bell on Busan.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm still getting over the fact that I got to cast such a good game, honestly. As this is the grand finals, this is where it is. Wisdom would like to have all of them come in. I don't see a reason why not, as long as we can do that. I'll just pretty much drag the entire starting lineup into here.
I think it was Advanced that set that precedent.
I'll drag starting 6 plus alpha. All right, I'm going to start moving people in. We're in casting booth 1. Yes, okay. So here we go. We're going to start getting people in here in just a second.
Oh, fair enough. Bring them on in. All hail the victors right there.
Yep, we are starting to get people in. As I'm talking, it's making me not as efficient here. There's Geekache, casting booth 1. There's Zorthcon, casting booth 1. There's Titanic, moved to casting booth 1. And there's Alpha Omega. And Alpha Omega moved by himself. All right, awesome. That is everyone. Is everyone muted because their server muted? Yes, so I will move that.
Good.
Okay, there we go. I think we have the entire team in here now.
Can we get Kenjiro in too?
Yeah.
Where are they?
He's not in.
I don't think he's not.
Oh, he's not even in the call
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you-
right. Never mind then.
That's fine.
If he
that's
wasn't
fine.
in the call, I can move him. So,
Yeah.
first
Kids
of
are
all,
memorized.
yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, obviously, congratulations, you guys. A very, very hard-fought and close series all the way through, but you ended up taking the victory and the League Zero crown. As cliche as it sounds, how are you guys feeling right now?
Oh,
Like we're gonna have a
I'm
panic.
so good. I'm gonna pass out, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sweating so hard.
Panda, we redeemed ourselves.
True. No, this is a redemption arc for like
The
half of
wisdom
this
curse
team.
is broken, dude.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Wisdom curse is broken.
Officially broken. Let's
I'll
go.
I'll be bringing kids.
Wait, drag Kenan.
Where is he?
He's in lobby 1 spectate.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you. We can't be here without Kin.
Yeah.
Kin's our cheerleader. We
Kin
love him.
Hero.
Hero.
Shout out
Guys,
to Kenjiro for showing up to like every swim.
Guys, I gotta tell you something. Because I have never been in a game, I literally had to look and find League Zero in my Discord. It was like buried down in. That was a great game. You guys do really good. Really well.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely hard fought game. Going into take me through kind of how your team went through their preparation going into Geometric, especially considering you ended up losing to them at the end of the regular season.
Who wants
So
to
we were screaming a lot of ball sig this week just because that's a comp we know they were good at and we wanted to be able to match them on that if we needed to. But then of course we still had our tried and true Shadow Dive with Ryan that we were used to. So we were confident in that comp already, so we were just trying to get good on the ball sig, and I think we proved that we could match them in that comp as well.
Yeah, and since we lost that Geo game, we grinded double shield for a long time before the ball sig thing was. So even though it probably looked like we weren't comfortable with double shield in that last match, and we kind of weren't, but we got a lot better with that, and then we just polished up the ball sig this last week and felt really confident in our 3 main comps.
Good. Well, was there ever a moment in the series where you guys were like, we've got this? Was there a moment when you knew, or was it just kind of a like thrill ride right up until the bitter end?
We thought we had it when they picked
Well,
Kings Row.
Also, yeah, when they picked Kings Row and when we were up 2-0, I thought like we for sure got this in the bag.
Oh,
In
yeah,
the
we-
early rounds.
Yeah, I wanted to ask actually real quick. Obviously you guys take the first two maps in pretty dominant form, and we started thinking, oh man, this is gonna be actually a pretty quick sweep. Not what we were expecting, but deserved. And then Geometric come back and win the next two maps and tie it up. What did you guys say after that map 4 to kind of get yourself out of that slump?
0-0.
You do.
0-0.
0-0.
We
We
treat
go
every
into
map
we
gets
go
the
into
first.
every map
Yeah.
as 0-0.
Yeah.
I also got more sugar. Because
Yeah, he only does
I
one-
was screaming at top of my
Oh,
lungs.
she was
Yeah.
so loud the first couple of maps. Oh my god.
Geek is only good if she has sugar or chalky milk.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Our
Chalky
coaches
milk
commented
diff.
That's the
after the
secret.
first two maps. Our coaches said, "Great job, Geek. Calm down."
You calm down too much.
Maybe that's what went wrong, yeah.
Yeah. And then after the 4 maps, they said, like, Geek, if you need to scream, just scream.
Yeah.
Well, is there anyone that you can collectively agree on as sort of your MVP if we gave it to you as a team?
Kid.
Ken.
Yeah,
You do.
Ken.
Totally,
Kendra,
totally,
he-
yeah.
He's the guy that always fills for scrims when we can't make it, and it sucks that he couldn't play in a game because he's pretty good.
Ken,
Yeah, you-
Ken is always there just to support us.
Yeah.
He doesn't complain about playtime or anything. Everyone just loves him. He's so kind and nice. He's just actually the best player I've ever had on my team. No offense to everyone else in this country.
Shaking his body right now.
Trust me, I get it. I'm horrible.
You guys are awesome. You
Yeah,
guys
I
are
get it.
I have
I can only
0%
play 2 heroes, guys.
Yeah.
Well, you're really good then.
I have a 0% win rate in grand finals in terms of maps, so I'm pretty much garbage at the game.
Yeah, Pogger.
No.
No, Alpha helped too.
I think I got like a couple of picks on Dorado. That was about
It's
it.
okay.
You're good. We knew Dorado was an uncomfortable map for us,
Yeah.
so it was gonna be tough.
Wait, Geek, I just realized Geek is 2-0 in finals.
No.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Vancouver. Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver.
No, not Vancouver, Koala.
Oh yeah. Technically. Let's go.
I wanted to ask, if you had to point to one person on Geometric that was the biggest thorn in your side throughout the match, who would that be?
Setsu.
Zek2.
Yeah,
That's
Zexu.
it. That's it.
That was
100%
pretty
hit.
unanimous.
His
Yeah,
his
yeah.
rise was
We
Why-
very
what
literally
is
good.
it-
lost
what is
Kings
it
Row
about-
2 shatters.
What is it about? Yeah, what is it about Zexu that makes him so intimidating to play against?
His
I mean,
shatters.
I think he's one of the only Ryans that can match up to Mini
Mini.
and Novice, and no other Ryans ever get shatters against us, so nobody else is prepared to deal with that. We always just expect Mini to block it, and that's almost been a bad thing when we have to play the Ryan against Zexu.
Are we not going to talk about me last week?
Oh my
I'm
god.
gonna be honest. Dexu completely outplayed me on King's Row, so props to him. But then
Yeah.
last map I hadn't figured out. I knew he was
Yeah.
just hungry for the shatters, and
Yeah, Kings Row. We literally
brought
had
it
a chat after Kings Row. We were
Yeah.
like, we need to track the shatters because honestly, I was very lightly tracking shatters because I think shatters come every 2 fights. He gets it in every single fight. It was
Mhm.
crazy. He's actually
Yeah.
bananas. Their whole team's bananas. Their entire team's amazing.
All right. We have got to end the stream soon, so Ridco doesn't have too much of a panic attack looking at the VOD. But we have a lot of people in this chat. But any last things you guys want to say before we say goodbye?
I'm trying.
Or the defeater?
China.
China.
hi Navino.
I'm trying to.
I'm trying to.
Shout
I
out
wanna,
to Navino.
yeah, shout out to
Oh yeah,
Jeff. He really
Navino had to
fucking,
close at work
Yeah.
today.
Jeff
he
carried
did
us
the
these
thing.
last 2 weeks in playoffs with
Absolutely.
coaching and setting up
Yeah.
scrims and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so just real big shout out to Jeff for helping us.
Agreed.
And Navino couldn't be here because he's at work, but we love you, Navino.
Yeah.
He's a chicken man.
yeah.
Yes, the word.
Nev made this team, so absolutely,
Absolutely.
huge
Yeah.
shout outs to him. Thank you for yelling at us, Nev.
Well, congratulations once again on the win. You guys are League Zero champions. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
And
I'm going to Disney
obviously
World.
and honestly, before I kick you out, I wanted to say thank you all for putting everything you had into this game and the entire season. It was really a joy to watch this team as the season went on.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
It was a joy playing for everyone.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm glad we can make it fun.
now with that, get out of my casting booth.
Okay.
Yes,
Dark.
All right. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Dividing for League Zero. Let's go.
Dark. Get out of my casting booth.
Get out of here. And with that, after a solid, we are encroaching on 3 hours of stream. We have ourselves a Novice League Zero champion, Wisdom Academy, getting the revenge from last season in order to take the victory today. What a game this was! This was incredible.
Yeah, it really was absolutely spectacular. And, an absolute pleasure to cast. It's been an absolute pleasure to cast all these League Zero games. So thanks, guys, for having me. And I couldn't have asked for a better grand finals matchup to see there at the end as well. Absolutely spectacular stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Now, of course, in the middle of this game, since it went so long, the Expert Grand Finals got started on the second channel. So if you're interested in seeing more League Zero action on players that are these are both Grandmaster teams. I don't have the stream up, so I don't actually know how that game is going right now, but I'm sure that once this stream ends, Pendy will give that channel a host. If you want to move now, it's just the same as this channel, League Zero OW, except there's a 2 at the end. So make sure to check that game out to see how the final official game of League Zero Season 3 ends up. But that is going to be it for us, Corbeck.
It sure is. Thank you so much for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed this thrilling matchup. Again, congratulations to Wisdom Academy taking that 4-3 win. Before we wrap, Dividing, anything you wanna throw out there real quick?
I said this to Wisdom Academy at the start of the game, but I feel like because I couldn't say this directly to Geometric, thank you guys for everything that you all put into this season of League Zero. It is absolutely so fun to watch these teams form and play together and develop friendships and synergies with each other as the season goes on. Do not hang your heads too low because you gave us an absolutely incredible game today, and I really hope to see you back in future seasons.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Corbeck, joined here by the wonderful Dividing, the spectacular Pendy handling our production for this massive stream. Thank you so much for watching, and from all of us here at League Zero, have a very happy holidays.
Bye-bye.